spokesperson said they asked Congress to cancel the funds, but that didn't happen.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington, but White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre facing a lot of pushback after the president's Homeland Security Secretary said there's an acute and immediate need for physical barriers in the area.
I've not seen his full statement on that.
Jean-Pierre also accusing Republicans of failing to answer the president's call for more border resources, including equipment, personnel, overtime, and technology. Former President Trump wants his federal election subversion case dismissed. His lawyers filing a motion in Washington arguing presidential immunity. Lawyers for Trump are also again seeking a delay in the federal documents trial, which is scheduled to begin in May after that judge previously rejected an effort to push it back. A man eventually cleared in a decades-old murder is fighting to stay free before the Maryland Supreme Court.
42-year-old Adnan Syed spent more than 20 years in prison in the 1999 death of his ex-girlfriend, Hae-Min Lee. Before he was freed, though Lee's family will argue before Maryland's High Court that their rights were violated because they were not given appropriate notice to attend proceedings.
Fox's Jeff Benasso, the conviction was reinstated by a lower court as part of the appeals process, but Syed remains free as this appeal continues. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Charges from a shooting in Broad Ripple. 65 degrees and rainy downtown. Pretty much all of Indiana covered in rain on radar. Low of 56 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Kara Hines has been charged with murder and reckless homicide for a triple shooting in Broad Ripple from last June.
There was a punch thrown, and from that single punch being thrown, we end up with multiple shots being fired from multiple firearms.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says shell casings at the scene were matched to Hines' gun.
I said it before. This is senseless. 3 lives lost. 1 life still injured.
IMPD Deputy Chief Kendale Adams. Hines is also charged with battery. It's fall in Indiana, and it's likely going to feel like it Sunday. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Jason Puma of the National Weather Service says it's only natural, seeing as how we've enjoyed above-average temperatures into October.
When we get to Saturday morning, we're going to have low temperatures on Saturday morning, probably in the middle 40s. And then on Sunday morning, we're looking at low temperatures right around 40 degrees.
And you could expect rain throughout the day today in central Indiana. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Momo, the missing monkey, is now in safe hands.
About 11 a.m., the monkey entered a vacant residence under construction. We shut the doors, and I was able to find the monkey in a back area that was a bathroom.
IMPD Lieutenant William Carter says the home was in the Iron Gate neighborhood on the east side. Momo's now with Indianapolis Animal Care Services, and the Indianapolis Zoo is helping care for him. He hasn't played a single snap yet, but that might change soon. John Herrick reports.
He's been unhappy with his contract situation and even asked for a trade in the past, but Colts running back Jonathan Taylor said Thursday that he's committed to the team.
Because I'm here. I mean, if somebody wasn't committed, they wouldn't be here. And right now I'm here, and my number one goal is to really attack this first practice.
Taylor did practice on Thursday, and he also says he wants to help the team win a championship. Taylor could play in Sunday's game against the Tennessee Titans. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
You probably know how much money you've saved in your IRA or 401k, correct?
Oh, I know to the penny. Casey and I work in radio, so it's not that much.
Okay, well, here's another question. Do you know how much you'll owe in taxes on this money in retirement?
Absolutely not, because I'm an idiot, Casey. That's why I seek the help of trained professionals.
Well, that's the most important number you really need to know, Rob. Otherwise, you're not going to know how much money you really do have.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k. Just go to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. That's SaveTaxesWithBill.com. Just input a few numbers, and you'll instantly see how much money you could save in taxes when you retire. It's from Bill Dimry, our good friend right here in Indy.
Don't give the government a nickel more in taxes than you have to. Learn how much money you could save in taxes when you retire by going to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. It's SaveTaxesWithBill.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, we are going to start on the east side. This is a crash, and it's southbound 465 at I-70. The left lane is blocked, and that's the left lane of the exit ramp to I-70. Also a crash now northbound 465 in the same spot, and on the ramp to eastbound 70. So we're having trouble with our interchange there, 465 and 70 on the east side, especially going east. This is a crash involving a semi eastbound 70 coming out of the north split. Right now, 2 right lanes are blocked. Traffic is stopped into the south split, then back to Harding Street on eastbound 70. Westbound 70, Hendricks County has a bad stopped from the airport collector past Ronald Reagan Parkway because of construction. Traffic sponsored by Bob Evans Restaurants. You'll love Bob Evans' new caramel apple hotcakes with roasted apples and all the sweet flavors of fall. Hurry on in for breakfast at Bob Evans. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Considerable cloudiness is expected as you move into the Thursday evening conditions. Rain also expected from time to time with a low temperature near 63. Winds light and variable, and a few showers still linger on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Strike 8 meteorologist Bruno Sutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock! I want to get to this thing about Joe Biden and Trump's border wall. It is hilarious. But first, just a quick update. The Speaker of the House, they kicked Kevin McCarthy out on his tuchus, and now it's looking like it's coming down to Jim Jordan of Ohio, representative from Ohio, and or Steve Scalise for Speaker.
Either way, that's an upgrade. That's an upgrade either way. I don't care which one of these guys gets it. I'm more of a Jordan guy than I am a Scalise guy, but it wouldn't be awful if Scalise became the speaker. Both of them, substantial upgrade to Kevin McCarthy. And this is something we talked about yesterday, Nige. So many people freaking out. This is going to be chaos. This is amateur hour from the Republicans. Yeah. Rabble, rabble. But is it really if you get a substantial upgrade to the position and it's resolved relatively quickly?
Well, the whole thing, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but Steve Scalise has a rare type of blood cancer, and it's treatable, and it could take you out, though, also. I mean, I'm very familiar with friends who had a relative pass away from this at a young age. But it's treatable, but you have to do like stem cell transplants and chemo, and you got to be on the road a lot when you are Speaker of the House.
Right, and that's long hours.
You got long hours. You got to be on the road. I couldn't imagine being on chemotherapy and having to go out and fundraise. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Jim Jordan, I think he had a lot of allies. He's got Gates's endorsement. I think one time Jim Jordan trying to get rid of Boehner, and some people hold a grudge like that. So we'll see how that works out for him. But yeah, they're off the rest of the week anyway. So,
right.
I love how
this would have happened with or without McCarthy.
Yeah, I love how they kick this guy out and they say, "All right, we're out till next week."
Government job.
No kidding.
So while those two kind of lay all their cards on the table, trying to become the new speaker, still some establishment Republicans are upset that the whole thing happened to begin with, and even some TV hosts. I thought Brian Kilmeade was going to cry on the air on Fox News earlier today.
He hates Gates.
He hates Matt Gaetz.
And he's been on the show, by the way, a bunch of times.
Yeah, he's been on the program, but he had, I think, Tennessee's Representative Burkett on with him today. Now, Burkett was one of the 8 that voted to oust Kevin McCarthy.
The Gang of 8.
The Gang of 8. And Brian Kilmeade, you could tell, he's not happy with these 8 individuals that voted to oust the speaker. So he kind of ripped on Burkett for that. And you make the call. Does it sound like Kilmeade is kind of mocking this guy for saying that he was praying over something?
Are you happy following Matt Gaetz? Is that your leader?
I'm not following Matt Gaetz. I made my own decision. I didn't ask Matt.
But if Matt Gaetz didn't challenge, you weren't going to challenge.
Do what?
If Matt Gaetz didn't stand up, you weren't going to challenge. You know that.
I believe I would have.
Oh, come on. Please. You were praying about it 1 minute. The next minute, you're going to lead an insurgency?
So you don't think that praying about it's important? Is that what you're saying?
One minute you're praying about how you're going to vote with Matt Gaetz. And the next minute
pray
you're going to
about-
lead an insurgency?
Listen, you got a predetermined answer to everything. I prayed about it.
I have an opinion about what's going on. Do you have
And
an
you're
opinion too?
That came off. Kimmy's a jerk.
He came off like it, yeah.
Okay, I mean, we complain about that all the time. How when Republicans go on with CNN and MSNBC, how they're treated. I'm not saying kill me. I think he could have done that probably a little bit better. Now he does make a good point. Would Burkett have led the charge against McCarthy?
Right. Do you
Instead
have
of
the
Gates?
testicular fortitude to be the guy front and center like Matt Gaetz telling people McCarthy stinks?
Exactly. So I mean that's a good point, a legitimate question, but it's cable news. You got to make it interesting.
So let's turn our attention to the border.
Please.
You can't make this stuff up. So the Biden administration has announced plans to add to Donald Trump's border wall in Texas. Now, earlier today, Joe Biden was asked about this, and the angle that he's playing was, well, that money was appropriated for that cause. There's nothing I can do about it. I still think the wall sucks, blah, blah, blah.
Answer one question on the border wall. The border wall, the money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to reappropriate it, to redirect that money. They didn't. They wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what it was appropriated. I can't stop that.
I can't stop that. This money has been there since Joe Biden took office. He could have used this at any point in the last 2.5 years. But when chaos is at its absolute breaking point right now at the border, this is when he says, well, my hands are tied. What am I supposed to do here? Oh, come on. Is anybody buying that? Is anybody buying that? This is the Biden administration saying, yeah, we told you we weren't going to build any wall.
No, there will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration. Number one.
That was 2020, right?
That's the Biden administration saying that, but in real reality, the narrator comes in. But they needed the wall because the border was insane. That's what's going on here. And it wasn't just Joe Biden. Mayorkas, back in 2021 here.
Why didn't you build, forgive me, a wall or a fence to stop them from walking in this flood of people coming across the dam? It looks like a highway that allows them to cross the Rio Grande.
It is the policy of this administration. We do not agree with the building of the wall.
Didn't the DHS secretary there just say today that there was an immediate need for miles of new border wall?
Immediate need are the two key words right there.
So wait, you have Biden on one hand saying, "Oh, there's nothing I can do about it. It's been appropriated. We have to build it." It's making it sound like it's a bunch of crap that he still doesn't want the wall. They've been telling you they don't need a wall for years. And then all of a sudden you have Mayorkas today or yesterday saying there is an immediate need to add to Trump's wall. Hilarious.
And Joe Biden knows this too. It's just Biden and even Kamala have said so much stuff in the past trying to shame Donald Trump about the wall that their pride won't let them admit that a wall is a deterrent. This is Kamala Harris back in 2020.
Folks have plenty enough problems that they need their president to focus on instead of a wall that, by the way, because I was a prosecutor for many years, including the Attorney General of California, I specialize on transnational criminal organizations. Yeah. That wall ain't going to stop them.
But yet, you're building it now. Parts of it, anyway.
The DHS secretary has said there is an immediate need.
And where this is coming is pressure from some of these very blue cities and states.
Absolutely.
In Chicago, just a couple days ago, they had a big illegal immigration gathering, rally, whatever you want to call it, where folks in the community sound like what Republicans were saying back when Donald Trump was running for office.
You cannot keep bringing immigrants in. The city does not have the money.
You cannot track them. You ain't tracking them good at the police station. You don't know their name, but you want to spread them all over the city. It is unsanitary, it's unsafe, and it's just not right.
I remember the good old days when saying those kinds of things about illegal immigrants coming into the country was racist. Don't you?
Seems like only yesterday. By the way, Donald Trump has released a statement in regards to the Biden administration wanting to build more wall. Quote, I will await his apology. And Nige, you're in for a treat. Because joining us now on the WIBC hotline, I think the Biden administration may have reached out to Donald Trump for his advice on how to build the wall. Here is the 45th president of the United States.
So many people said, not to me, but behind my back, that the border wall was just a crazy idea. And by the way, I know who those people are. A lot of them have already been located, and they were abducted and thrown into a cargo van with the black hoods, the whole thing. And I guarantee you, they have learned their lesson, and they have now been returned to their families. The preliminary stages of the wall's construction have already begun. It's actually going to be incredibly beautiful, and there will be a life-size Our Lady of Guadalupe statue positioned every 50 feet along the entire span. It will play Tejano music, which is so wonderful. And if anyone gets too close to it, the Virgin Mary will release a cloud of semi-toxic nerve gas. All right, I got to get going.
45th president of the United States. All right, Matt Baer, what's up?
All right, Hammer, looking at a crash coming out of the north split towards the east side. Eastbound 70 crash, and we are backed up through the split onto southbound 65 220. First, northbound 65 70. Finished at the moment from the north split up from the south split up to the north split, and that is slowing down eastbound 70 from the west side. We are stop and go Harding Street to the south split. It is a crash on the east side at this interchange of 465. First, it is a northbound of 465 to eastbound 70 crash on the off-ramp. Ramp is partially blocked, and now we have a crash. This is brand new. Westbound 70. Right around Franklin at the interchange, okay? That ramp to southbound 465 partially blocked. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. You need to hire. Indeed is with you every step of the way, helping you attract, interview, and hire new candidates all for one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Baer on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
Rain and 65 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Coming up next, America's nightmare has come to an end. The monkey has been found. We have an Indianapolis monkey update, and we'll talk a little bit about last night's A Night with WIBC, presented by Relay Indiana. Such an awesome time. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Hey, as much as I'd love being a homeowner, I'm lucky enough to be a homeowner, there's certain problems that come along with being a homeowner. What I'm not worried about is my American Standard HVAC. And if you need American Standard service, make sure and see
Family Heating and Air, the Morris family and their staff ready to hook you up this fall. You could call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today to make sure your furnace is safe and ready for whenever the chilly weather arrives here in Indy. Family Heating and Air Conditioning always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion. If you've already got a quote from another company and it just doesn't look right, call Family Heating and Air, because nobody cares for you like family. 317-577-8077. Ask about their indoor air quality, too. 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
We've created something special here in Carmel. I'm Sue Finkham, and it's here where I built my business and started a family and served as a leader on City Council, helping our community prosper and increasing government transparency. Now, we're America's #1 rated city, but we're just getting started. Lots of people talk about keeping Carmel the best city in America. But me, I'm the only one with the plan and experience to do it. I'm Sue Finkham. It's simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. And ensure development doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character.
Sue Finkham, the only candidate with the experience and vision to keep Carmel the best city in America, partnering with police to keep our community safe, and ensuring responsible development to help our community thrive.
Together, let's keep Carmel on the path to success.
On November 7th, vote Sue Finkham for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkham Victory Committee.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Tiffany absolutely hated her job.
I was living paycheck to paycheck on a dead-end job that I did not like.
She'd been considering a change with My Computer Career.
I was able to qualify for financial aid.
Just 2 nights a week in a classroom and studying from anywhere online opened up a whole new world to her.
I get job offers all the time. IT is practically recession-proof.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I highly recommend My Computer Career.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
By listening to WIBC, you'll learn how to create a secure income plan that is sustainable throughout retirement from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. Tune into WIBC this Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m.
I ain't seen a beating like that since somebody stuck a banana in my pants and turned a monkey loose.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I see what you did there. My name is Nigel. Hammer's over there. You know, I used to give Hammer a lot of crap because he told me when he'd go down to Florida, he'd see random monkeys just walking around. I go, there's no monkeys. It's not the jungle. You just don't see monkeys walking around on the side of the road. And you proved me wrong.
Yes.
And I fully admit I was wrong on that. There are monkeys that wander around Florida. But it also happens in Indianapolis, apparently, as well.
We can all sleep easy tonight. As of 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Momo the monkey was captured on the Near East Side of Indianapolis.
Even the name cracks me up every time I hear it.
An eyewitness to the chaos was my friend Elena Sheets. Elena, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show. Tell us about your monkey experience.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Last night I was sitting in my home office and my husband was about to start mowing the grass and he opened the front door and said, "Did you just see a monkey go by your window?" It's near Halloween time, so I assumed someone was dressed up and running around.
Oh, interesting.
And so my son and I went out the front door and said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Look around the corner." And sure enough, there was Momo running down the street. My neighbors had hopped into the back of their pickup truck and were holding PVC pipes, attempting to deflect him from them because he had run up and scratched one of the guys that was under the car working on it.
So he was like aggressive and mean.
Well, I'm not sure that he was actually mean. I think he was startled. I think he went up to see the guy while he was laying on the ground, like wondering what the heck he was doing down there. And maybe got startled and, tapped him. So that's when they got scared. And he ran back to our house again. My husband was still out front, and I had brought my son inside and my dog, shut the door. That's the picture that everybody's seeing on the news.
So that's your photo that everybody's seeing.
Yes, that is my front porch taken from inside my house. Momo came back up to my husband behind and grabbed his pants pocket. But he was not mean. I think
what did your husband do? Did he kind of try to shoo it away with his hand?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Do you shoo a monkey away? Is that how it works?
Go, get out of here.
It worked last night. I'm not sure.
You don't feed the monkey, do you?
I didn't know, like, if he was a zoo escapee and was wild, or if he was a pet, or what I really thought I was tripping. My brain was not letting me.
I would be at a loss as to what to do if a monkey showed up on my front porch. Do I call 911? I don't have animal control's phone number in my contacts on my phone.
Right. I tried to call or ask Siri what the non-emergency line number was, and she gave me a line for, like, Nevada. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to call 911 because I don't know if this guy is going to hurt anybody. And I mean, it was the evening. It was a beautiful night out in my neighborhood. Everyone was walking their dogs.
Okay, so let's recreate the 911 call. Let's recreate the 911 call here. 911, what's your emergency?
Hi. Well, they asked me what my address was, so I told them my address. And she said, okay, now what's the problem? And I said, there's a monkey in my front yard. And she said, what? And I said, I know I sound crazy, but there is a monkey in my front yard. And at this point, I had jumped back into the truck with the guys in the back of the pickup truck so to keep an eye on him. And he was running across the street and picking up somebody's shirt or something he had found on someone's porch and, like, throwing it in the air and jumping with it and just, like, having
a good time.
Right. Now, is there a photo of everybody in the truck, this big group of monkey vigilantes driving up and down the neighborhood? Do you have a photo of that, Elena?
I unfortunately do not.
So did the cops come? I'm assuming by the time the cops got there, the monkey, Momo, disappeared?
Right.
No.
That's my dog, sorry.
That's Momo. It's out again. Ryan Mears let him out. He's already on the streets. Momo is back.
No Momo sighting again. But, no, I actually I gave them my address, and she said they were en route. I asked her, like, were they close? And she said she couldn't give me that information. And I said, okay. And I had to go pick my daughter up from volleyball. I was already running late. So she said, they're on their way. And I said, okay, thanks. So I expected the cops to come to my house and check on me, thinking that I might be having problems.
Right. But they don't get a lot of monkey calls, I believe, to the police.
I don't think she did, yeah.
Well, Elena, we're glad that everybody's okay.
Yes.
The monkey has been captured, and you've got one hell of a story out of it. So, Elena, God bless you. Thank you for telling your tale of Momo gone wild in an East Side neighborhood.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me.
I wonder how many 911 calls came in for Momo over the past 24 hours.
Right. There don't normally get a lot of those, I would imagine.
No.
And I'm curious, did the neighbors all get together and have some sort of community meeting about what to do about the monkey?
Yeah. And I wonder, that guy that got scratched by Momo, does he have monkeypox?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Monkeypox, oh monkey, monkeypox, oh monkeypox, oh monkeypox.
That's what Momo sounded like, running from tree to tree on the east side. Real quick, special shout out to everybody that made it out to a night with WIBC presented by Relay Indiana last night. That was a lot of fun.
That was a blast. I'm flattered and humbled. People were coming up to us left and right before the show, took a bunch of pictures, and I thought you and I had a blast out on stage.
We had a good time.
We gave the people what they wanted, and I hope it was worth more than the price of admission.
Relay Indiana, AAA, Thompson Furniture, all friends of the Hammer and Nigel show. We thank them for their support, and thank you guys for listening to this little nickel and dime pony show that we do every afternoon. And the fact that people would want to pay to hang out with all of us is a staggering thing for us. But thank you guys so much. And when tickets go on sale next year, get your tickets early and we will have a good time again. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Indianapolis. With Mayor Joe Hogsett, we've made real progress. Billions in new construction. Unemployment at a historic low. 700 new police. $1.2 billion in new infrastructure. Hundreds of new streetlights, and thousands of college scholarships. Now Joe Hogsett is fighting the state abortion ban and to get guns off the street. But Joe knows the work isn't done. It's why he's hiring even more police, expanding community policing, and investing in programs that help keep kids out of trouble. And Jefferson Shreve, he supports banning abortion. And after getting an A rating from the NRA, Jefferson Shreve has been against any new gun laws. Jefferson Shreve is bringing Trump-style politics to Indianapolis and trashing our city. Re-elect Mayor Joe Hogsett. Steady leadership in times of change.
Paid for by Hogsett for Indianapolis.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Indy for the fall special, October 5th to the 7th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, customs, and more. Broadcast live on Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at mecum.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Wrights, former Colts offensive lineman.
And I'm Jill Wrights. Traumatic brain injury is so sad and so life-changing.
That's why we support a groundbreaking organization building a better future for adults living with a TBI.
VillaLiCi was founded right here in Indiana, but what we are doing will affect families around the country, families struggling to support and lift up their loved one after a life-changing head injury.
Go to braininjury.me, that's braininjury.me.
If your leaky chimney is at it again, there's only one place to call. That's Chimney Solutions. Chimney Solutions has over 20 years of experience inspecting, sweeping, and troubleshooting chimney systems. From repairing your masonry to waterproofing to chimney caps, they handle it all with craftsmanship guarantees. The Chimney Solutions team is Chimney Safety Institute of America certified and members of the National Chimney Sweep Guild. Call Chimney Solutions today at 317-757-6979. Online at chimneyindy.com. That's Chimney Solutions.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Who wound up in handcuffs? 64 degrees, rainy downtown with rain all over your radar. Low temps tonight drop to the 50s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. You may remember a triple killing in Broad Ripple this past summer. Donnie Burgess reports police have made an arrest.
The name, Kara Hines, age 24.
There was a lot of drinking going on, and you cannot ignore the fact that there were way too many people who were armed that night. We recovered multiple firearms from the scene that were not even involved in this particular shooting.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears, who says petty arguments and a single punch led to 4 people being shot, 3 of which died. Deputy Police Chief Kendall Adams says it's all senseless. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Jonathan Taylor is still not happy with his current contract, but he says his focus has shifted.
Because I'm here. I mean, if somebody wasn't committed, they wouldn't be here. And right now I'm here, and my number one goal is to really attack this first practice.
Taylor says he wants to win a championship. He returned to practice this week and could play as early as this Sunday. Nothing's been confirmed yet. 26 federal laws in southern Texas that are funding the border wall were waived by the Biden administration.
We have asked Congress to actually help us, use these funds in smarter, more effective ways. That's what we've asked for. They refuse, but we're going to continue to ask for Congress, especially Republicans who are holding this back, to act.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president doesn't think the border wall works. Former President Trump's lawyers want his federal documents trial pushed back. Fox's Gernal Scott reports.
The trial is set to start next May. The Trump legal team filed a motion to delay it at least 6 months. That likely means any resolution would come after the presidential election. The former president's lawyers cite a couple of reasons. The judge's ruling that classified material must be viewed in a separate facility, and scheduling, indicating the Trump trial for his alleged role in attempting to overturn the 2020 election starts in early March and could run concurrently. It's not certain when Judge Eileen Cannon, a Trump appointee to the bench, will rule on this motion. She did deny an earlier request to put off the trial. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.52, says Gas Buddy. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:34.
Are you tired of paying these insane rates on your credit cards and other loans? You can cut those payments by hundreds of dollars a month by using the equity in your home. What's up? It's Hammer here from the Hammer and Nigel show. Loan Pronto is here, and they can help you tap that equity and get tens of thousands of dollars in less than a week. Their equity Equity Express line of credit can get you enough money to pay off all those ridiculous high-interest credit cards or maybe that car loan. You won't lose your 3% mortgage rate. It stays intact. You can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying ridiculous interest rates on those credit cards and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto today. 317-953-6525. 953-6525. 953-6525. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval.
The traffic at 335. What's going on, Matt Pear?
Harrison, I'm looking at eastbound at 70. It is a semi-crash coming from northbound 6572 eastbound. So like you're coming up north through downtown. And 2 right lanes are blocked. The ramp is a mess. It is open, but very slow as we're backed up to the south split. That's finished eastbound 70 right now from Belmont to the south split. South side, eastbound 465 stop and go traffic before Harding Street over to Arlington Avenue. And Lawrence, eastbound 465 stop and go after Keystone down to East 56 because of the construction zone. Westbound 70 completely stopped from the airport collector out to State Road 267 because of maintenance. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it with B Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to B. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Considerable cloudiness is expected as you move into the Thursday evening conditions. Rain also expected from time to time with a low temperature near 63. Winds light and variable, and a few showers still linger on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
So this whole Trump Manhattan fraud trial, the civil trial where the state is suing Trump because they say he inflated his net worth by billions so he could borrow more money from banks, but yet all the banks got their money back. Nobody was hurt in this thing. There was no person was what am I trying to say?
Wronged in any way?
No person was wronged in any way. And they're still trying. This is out of all the indictments, out of all the things Trump's going through right now, this is the most ridiculous one, I believe.
And we're on day 4 of this thing.
And Letitia James, the attorney general who was going to run for governor, left her campaign and said, no, I'm going to do my job as attorney general, and my main goal is to get Donald Trump. I'm paraphrasing here, but her main goal was to get Trump behind bars, or at least make him pay an exorbitant amount of money to the state.
Because it's personal for her, because she's an activist who has now been put in a position of power. And we'll get to her in just a moment, but the headline coming out of today was this judge who Donald Trump keeps doing these interviews and says, the judge has already made up his mind. The judge is issuing an order placing Donald Trump's business assets under court monitor. So now the courts are able to monitor every single business transaction that Donald Trump, his kids, his business, his corporations are running right now. Now, let's go back to Letitia James, the Attorney General. She sued Donald Trump, his children, and the Trump Organization, alleging that Donald Trump inflated his net worth, right? Well, Donald Trump doesn't take that lightly. You know, he's a counter puncher. So he fought back and he lashed out against her and claims that this whole thing is a witch hunt and basically that she has it out for him. And he put a video out on Truth Social that was kind of a montage of all the things Letitia James has said about Donald Trump before she became the Attorney General. Take a listen.
This illegitimate president who sits in the White House. That president, because he's not my president, he's an illegitimate president. His days are numbered. His days are numbered. We've got to get ready to mobilize, and we've got to get ready to agitate and irritate until victory is won, but more importantly, until Trump is defeated. going to give you the same level of respect that you gave to President Obama, and that is absolutely no respect at all. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey!
This is the Attorney General now.
She is a whack job.
How is Donald Trump expected to get a fair shake in New York when that activist, who's clearly had it out for Donald Trump from the moment she was able to start chants, is in charge of the investigation here? So Donald Trump puts that video out, and what Letitia James says is that he's dangerous, he's racist, and his act in court is a political stunt.
Trump's comments were offensive, they were baseless, they were void of any facts and or any evidence. What they were comments that unfortunately fomented violence, comments that I would describe as race baiting, and comments, unfortunately, that appeals to the bottom of our humanity. This case was brought simply because it was a case where individuals have engaged in a pattern and practice of fraud. And I will not sit idly by and allow anyone to subvert the law. And lastly, I will not be bullied. And so Mr. Trump is no longer here. The Donald Trump show is over. This was nothing more than a political stunt.
I think you are performing the political stunt there, Miss James. I mean, what does she call racist and dangerous? But in that montage that you played there, Hammer, I mean, it was her saying, we need to agitate, we need to irritate. I mean, it's one step short of taking physical action.
Right.
I mean, I've never heard anything like that before. And how can you have fair representation? How in the world can you get a fair shake in this thing when the Attorney General has a history of just radical left-wing Trump-hating rhetoric?
Right.
Wow.
Listen, I get not everybody likes Donald Trump. He's not everybody's cup of tea, and I totally understand that. But I would hope even rational-minded people here could look at the history of this woman and know there's no way Donald Trump's getting a fair shake in this.
Especially with the charges, again, he asked for a bunch of money from banks. He said, hey, I'm worth this. Here are my assets. Can I borrow a bunch of money? And they said yes. And then he paid the money back to the banks. Like if I went in the banks, I'm sure did their due diligence before handing him however many billions of dollars there was.
Right.
Making sure that his assets were worth what they said he was worth. This whole thing is, I mean, you talk about election interference. This is kangaroo, third world, banana republic type stuff, man.
And her soundbite where she says this is a political stunt.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump showing up to a court hearing that he's involved in and speaking his mind is a political stunt. It's not like, he's not involved in this and he's outside. Like some would say Vivek Ramaswamy had a political stunt when Trump was indicted. He set up a tent outside. He was doing press conferences. You're not involved in this. This is literally about Donald Trump. And he goes to the cameras and he basically says, I'm not going to get a fair shake. I think this judge has made up his mind. That's a political stunt. But everything that Letitia James is doing is just fine. All right. We got legal stuff going on here. Wow. Philadelphia police have arrested the biker they believe to be on camera jumping on and smashing in the rear windshield of a car with a mother and two children inside.
Well, I saw this. Yeah.
What the hell is going on in Philadelphia?
Well, it was another street takeover, kind of like the one we had here.
Here's the victim, Nikki, talking about the attack.
His little revolver was not nothing to me. It was just the fact that I was like, that wasn't going to scare me. And then before that, despite the fact I already seen the gun, he was already trying to point it in the car anyway. That's why I continued he jumped on the windshield. He already went through the windshield. I might as well get out. There's multiple people who were out there and just watch. The ending, when they all come around in a circle, they're all just surrounding me. The only reason I was staying against the car still is because my son was still in the car. I have a guardian angel, thank God, watching over them because there's not a single scratch on either one of them.
Yeah, man. I saw that footage. This guy on a bike, they're taking the street over, much like they did here on MLK and 27th. And he for whatever reason, got off and punched out he jumped and kicked out the back window with the kids in the car. She gets out and gets in his face. and the guy with the motorcycle helmet bumps her in the head, and like she said, he had like a little gun. At least they arrested this guy, but with Krasner being the district attorney there in Philadelphia, he's probably back out walking on the streets right now.
Have you seen that Spider-Man meme where there are two different Spider-Men and they're pointing at each other? That's Krasner and Ryan Mears. Oh, yeah. They are the same guy. They're pointing at each other, and then they're probably laughing about how many criminals they're going to put back out on the streets. One more thing of note in legal stuff here. Tell me where you're at with this, all right, Nigel? Let me take your temperature here. A female police officer being investigated by her department in Minnesota after she pulled over a driver who recognized her because he follows her OnlyFans account. So the female police officer has an OnlyFans account. And she pulled somebody over. He recognized her. And now it sounds like that side gig that she has on OnlyFans might violate department policy.
Actually, I have some audio here. Let me play. Can you pull me up here?
Department policy.
Actually, that's my bad. I have audio of the guy that allegedly made the identification, but I don't know if you could tell. They modified his voice to try to keep him anonymous. Here he is.
The VIP, you get to see the videos of her and her husband or whoever that is. They do full sex video because you can't arrest me no more. I've seen your private parts.
I couldn't understand quite everything because they modified the guy's voice, but I think you get the gist of what he was saying.
Right. You can't arrest me no more because I'm going to out you on OnlyFans.
I've seen your private parts.
Is this really that big of a case where we have to modify somebody's voice? It's not like we're talking about somebody that stole government secrets here.
Yeah.
You saw a police officer's crotch on OnlyFans. Do we really need to modify his voice?
Now, here's the other question. Does the cop need to be investigated? Does she need to be disciplined? Does she need to be removed from... I mean, is there a level of expectation of behavior from, what you do in your private life?
I'm a read the room kind of guy, right? Like, not everything needs to be the same here. If there is a policy in the Minnesota Police Department that you can't have an OnlyFans account, you slap her on the wrist, say, don't do that again. It's either that or this job.
Yeah.
You don't fire her.
Right.
Because let's be honest, it's not like people are rushing to be police officers right now.
And it's not like police officers are getting rich either. She needs a side hustle.
I'm not mad at her at all. I have no problem at all. As long as she's good at being a police officer, show whoever wants to see what anytime you want. That's my blessing.
You probably know how much money you've saved in your IRA or 401k, correct?
Oh, I know to the penny, Casey, and I work in radio, so it's not that much.
Okay, well, here's another question. Do you know how much you'll owe in taxes on this money in retirement?
Absolutely not, because I'm an idiot, Casey. That's why I seek the help of trained professionals.
Well, that's the most important number you really need to know, Rob. Otherwise, you're not going to know how much money you really do have.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k. Just go to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. That's SaveTaxesWithBill.com. Just input a few numbers and you'll instantly see how much money you could save in taxes when you retire. It's from Bill Dimry, our good friend right here in Indy.
Don't give the government a nickel more in taxes than you have to. Learn how much money you could save in taxes when you retire by going to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. It's SaveTaxesWithBill.com.
Paid for by John Rust for U.S. Senate. Next year, Indiana Republicans will have the choice to pick our next U.S. Senator. But if it's up to Mitch McConnell and the D.C. swamp, we'll have no choice. The Washington elite and political insiders are trying to rig this election for their hand-picked career politician ally, Jim Banks. That's why conservative businessman and Indiana farmer John Rust has stepped up to fight for us. As a lifelong conservative, John believes we need an outsider's voice that's focused on Hoosiers. John Rust is committed to fighting the woke liberal mob, defending seniors by protecting Social Security, and creating an economy that works for middle-class families, not DC insiders. While Jim Banks and Mitch McConnell are focused on keeping power for themselves, John Rust is focused on putting Indiana first. Career politicians like Jim Banks are always talking about solving problems. But we can trust businessmen like John Rust to actually get the job done.
I'm U.S. Senate candidate John Rust, and I approve this message.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If there is blame to go around, it will begin and it will end right here.
That's Joe Hogsett laying out his crime plan back in 2017.
I am responsible.
The results? Over 800 police have left the force, most since the protests when Joe was absent.
I am responsible.
Murders are up 52%, and the odds of getting away with it are better than a coin flip. Only 35% of cases were solved last year.
I am responsible.
Mental health is underfunded. Homelessness on the rise. And now, Indy ranks 4th in lethal overdoses.
I am responsible.
It's just not working.
I am responsible because I happen to be the mayor.
So I ask you, isn't it time for a change?
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
Design it before you buy it. Up to 50% off all products and 2.99% financing plus $550 installation credit.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra on December 26th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Go to WIBC.com for more info.
Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
And our semi-BIFTA coming out of the north split. It's eastbound 70 after the north split. Right now, the ramp 2 eastbound from northbound, that is partially blocked. It is open, stopping traffic back to the south split and jamming up eastbound 70 from Belmont. Westbound 70, Hendricks County, stopped from the airport collector out to State Road 267 because of construction. Lawrence, eastbound 465, stop-and-go traffic from Keystone Avenue down to Penn, down to Pendleton Pike. And watch out for Penn downtown at Market. A hazmat investigation underway at that intersection. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it with B Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, get a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to B. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Rain and 64 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. And Nige, kind of a surprise, Jonathan Taylor spoke to the media today.
Colts running back?
Colts running back. They brought him out there for a little presser. And I'm telling you right now, the crazy plane lady, I am telling you right now that Jonathan Taylor has a future career in politics ahead of him.
Okay.
Because he has mastered the art of answering a question without really answering the question. Our pal Kevin Bowen was at this press conference and asked him point blank, do you want to be an Indianapolis Colt? This was his answer.
Listen, like I said, I'm here right now, and my number one thing is to take care of my teammates. A lot of people worry about what I want. Doesn't matter what necessarily I want. What matters is what this team needs, what this team wants, what this city wants, and what this city needs. And what this city needs is a championship. And while I'm here, that's what I'm going to work my tail off to do. That's what I work my tail off to get the opportunity to do. I think when you've been out for a while, you start looking at it and you say, man, when you have that opportunity, and I never took it for granted, but even when it's taken away, you still are like, man, that was a great opportunity, and I can't wait to have another opportunity. So, like I said, I never took it for granted at all. Right. So health comes first.
So, no, he doesn't want to be a Colt.
He didn't say that.
That's a long answer. I could have summed it up in one word, no.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. Where's Marshawn Lynch when you need him? I'm just here so I don't get fined. Colts and Titans this Sunday, Lucas Oil Stadium. They've got the tailgate happening on Georgia Street. Stop by, hang out. I think some WIBC 107.5 The Fan swag will be there. And this is crazy, the betting line. The Colts were a 1-point favorite in this game. And then Jonathan Taylor, the news broke that he might play. And for whatever reason, everybody bet the Titans, and now the Titans are the favorite in this game.
Yeah, Colts plus 2.5, so 2.5 underdogs.
So it's been a 3-point swing in this point spread with the news that Jonathan Taylor might play, which is very odd to me. And by the way, I apologize to anybody who's a sports fan because tonight there's no Major League Baseball games because all the series, the playoff series in the first round are done. They were all sweeps. So the primetime NFL game we get tonight.
Ooh, what do we have?
The Commanders and Bears. Oh, boy. You better put some money or something on that game just to make it worth watching. All right, when we come back, drama at the border, the wall, it's coming back. Biden acts like he doesn't want the wall back, but we all know why he's doing it. Polling stinks. We'll talk about that next.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your independent, locally owned American Standard hometown dealer in Johnson County, Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling. Are you tired of the free air conditioner or furnace sketchy claims and want an honest quote with honest pricing from people who live and work in your community? Call Marshall Mechanical. Just go to callthemarshallnow.com to schedule an appointment. Financing options are available. Subject to credit approval. Call for details. Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling, your American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in Johnson County.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
You know, one of the things I love about my Galaxy concrete garage floor, they came in a day and put a brand new clean coating over my old cracked garage floor. The thing I love about it is that, like, I don't have to put on my flip-flops or shoes if I need to run out to the beer fridge real quick or anything, because it's so easy to keep clean. And it's not epoxy like some of these other guys use. That's the old stuff. What Galaxy used is polyurea. It's the new premium standard for coatings. And they just upgraded the warranty from 15 years to life. They can do your garage, your basement, your pool deck, any indoor or outdoor area concrete. These guys are awesome. Check out photos. Get a quote. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or 751-9070.
PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is your place for fine jewelry, custom pieces, one-of-a-kind pieces, vintage pieces, and also your place to sell jewelry. 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms. You have old jewelry from grandma or jewelry you don't wear anymore? Come sell it for top dollar at PA Jewelers. I've sold jewelry there. My wife has. You're going to love the prices. PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, premierarms.com.
Hey, JMV here with Lance Smith, owner of LD Smith Plumbing. And Lance, what's that on your shirt?
Well, I just helped pull out 50 feet of old sewer line and installed a new water heater. Oh, and I just ate some chocolate pudding, too.
So that could be mud, chocolate, or...
I guess so.
Oh, no, Lance. We're out of here. Let Lance and his heroes handle all of your plumbing problems. They're truly dirty, stinking honest. LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
Design it before you buy it. Up to 50% off all products and 2.99% financing plus $550 installation credit.
Coming up in 2 minutes, it's going to keep raining this afternoon. An arrest has been made from a triple shooting in Broad Ripple from earlier this summer, and how the cops found a missing monkey on the east side this morning. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
familiar claim returns. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Lawyers for former President Trump filing a motion to have his federal election subversion case thrown out, claiming presidential immunity.
They talk a lot about outside of the perimeter of the office of the president. I want to read a couple quotes here. Quote, to ensure the president may serve unhesitatingly without fear that his political opponents may one day prosecute him for decisions they dislike. The law provides absolute immunity, quote, for acts within the outer perimeter of the president's official responsibility.
Fox's David Spunt. The filing also describes efforts to ensure election integrity as being at the heart of Trump's official responsibilities as president. Separately, Trump lawyers are seeking to have the other federal case against him over the handling of classified documents delayed. That trial is scheduled to begin in May. A man who opened fire on a New York City subway car during rush hour last year is sentenced to life in prison. 64-year-old Frank James pleaded guilty earlier this year for the mass shooting that wounded 10 people. During today's hearing, James criticized the nation's mental health system. The White House is downplaying a decision to resume border wall construction as a legal issue.
These funds were appropriated in fiscal year 2019 under Republican leadership, and DHS is required by law to use the funds for appropriated purpose.
Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre telling reporters she hasn't read the full statement from the Homeland Security Secretary, who cited an acute and immediate need for physical barriers as a border surge continues. Meantime, just getting reports, the administration will also resume deporting migrants back to Venezuela. A choppy day of trading on Wall Street, and in the end, stocks finish lower. The Dow down 10 points at the closing bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The rain isn't going to let up. Temperatures in the 60s downtown. Rain covering most of the state, according to your radar. Low temps are supposed to drop to the mid-50s later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. It's going to keep raining all afternoon. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The amount of rain will vary, says National Weather Service forecaster Jason Puma.
Rainfall amounts across central Indiana will probably be between about a quarter and a half of an inch of rain. That'll probably be pretty welcome across the area, as it's been pretty dry for quite some time.
Puma says we're still in a moderate drought, but every little bit of rain helps. He also says you can expect temperatures to drop into the 40s by Sunday. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
After nearly 4 months, police have arrested Kara Hines for a triple killing in Broad Ripple. Social media and security video made the case, says Indianapolis Deputy Police Chief Kendall Adams.
Those videos, along with body cam, played a critical role in helping us identify Ms. Hines as the suspect.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says petty arguments and a single punch led to the shootings. IMPD Lieutenant William Carter helped bring in a monkey who was on the loose this morning. Momo was seen around the Iron Gate neighborhood on Indy's East Side Wednesday night. Carter wound up finding him in a bathroom of a home under construction around 11.
The monkey was turned over to Indianapolis Animal Care and Services, where it's currently being held for.
If you came into contact with Momo, give the health department a call to make sure you didn't pick up any diseases. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor says not to worry about Jonathan Taylor.
A lot of people worry about what I want. What I want doesn't matter what necessarily I want. What matters is what this team needs, what this team wants, what this city wants, and what this city needs.
Which he says is a Super Bowl. Taylor's back at practice this week. He could play in Sunday's game against the Titans. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. Your time is 4:04.
Fall in Indy, and if you hate painting year after year, do what your neighbor Edwina did. She called Rhino Shield.
So over the years, I've had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
And Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
Get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, watch out for Patton Market downtown. Patton to southbound one-way, missing 2 left lanes right now because of a hazmat situation. Lots of emergency response out there. Also, a crash. It is on the eastbound 74 heading towards Shelbyville. The right lane is blocked shy of London Road. And then crash eastbound 70 coming out of the north is split right now. It's on the ramp from northbound 6570 to eastbound 70. Ramp is open, completely stopped. Back into the south split, stopping eastbound 70 from Belmont into the south split, all because of that crash. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs and Isaacs. When a car crashes into the side of a rear or an 18-wheeler and slides under the tractor trailer, the consequences can be deadly. Attorney Daryl Isaacs is ready to win for you. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Considerable cloudiness is expected as we move into the Thursday evening conditions. Rain also expected from time to time with a low temperature near 63. Winds light and variable, and a few showers still linger on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Strike 8 meteorologist Bruno Sudis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Sure. Hammer, what's going on with the Biden White House? I mean, you heard the news at the top of the hour. The Biden administration is going to start deportations to Venezuela in sort of an effort to reduce the crisis at the southern border. We have the DHS Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas. Alejandro! Saying there is an acute and immediate need to build a border wall in South Texas. What do you think is actually going on here?
I think this could be the best week ever. You got McCarthy out of the speaker's chair. You got people getting deported. The wall's being built again. Hell, Biden's trying to capture Donald Trump's presidency right now. What it really is, polling. Joking aside, is polling. Yeah. And it's big, high-profile Democrat cities going to Joe Biden going, hey, I didn't think they'd actually call our bluff on this whole sanctuary city crap, and things are not going well.
I mean, it made us look really virtuous when we said it.
But we didn't think you'd let everybody in, you big dummy. We need you to fix this. Paraphrasing, of course. But now Mayorkas says there's an acute and immediate need to build a border wall in southern Texas. Now, back in 2021, this was that same Alejandro Mayorkas.
Why didn't you build, forgive me, a wall or a fence to stop them from walking in this flood of people coming across the dam? It looks like a highway that allows them to cross the Rio Grande.
It is the policy of this administration. We do not agree with the building of the wall.
Okay. That was 2021.
So what are you doing today, Alejandro? Oh, that's right. You said there's an acute and immediate need to build the wall. Now,
Trump's wall, by the way, which makes this so funny.
Joe Biden and his White House is trying to spin this as, well, there was an appropriation for this before we came into office. It was from 2019, the previous president. There's nothing I can do if this money was appropriated for it.
We asked the Congress if we could use the money for something else, and they said no. So we have to build the wall.
And the real reality is this. They could have waited to the very last minute and done this, or not even done it at all. Bill Malugin, who does a great job reporting from the border, says the money has been there since Biden took office. He could have used it at any point in the last 2.5 years. Instead, he halted all construction, started auctioning off and selling all the steel. He maintains walls don't work, but he's doing it anyway.
I think he sold it for pennies on the dollar, too.
Yeah.
Nowhere near what that steel was actually worth.
Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about the total 180 on the wall building earlier today.
We believe there are more effective ways of dealing with this, dealing with the border security. And so, of course, we have repeatedly asked Congress to make sure that CBP have the resources they need to do their jobs. And we think there are other ways to do that, whether it's smarter, more effective border security measures. And so like border technology, we believe that works when you modernize that, and also land ports of entry. We believe that's what works to deal with border security. And so we've been very clear. The president's been very clear about this. He doesn't believe the border wall is effective, and that has not changed. That has not changed.
That's a lie.
We're complying by the law. DHS is complying by the law. That's an appropriation that came from
Okay,
fiscal
you
year
can stop her.
2019.
She's
Clearly a disconnect between the White House press secretary, Joe Biden even, and the Department of Homeland Security guy, Mayorkas, because he said, again, acute and immediate need to build the border wall.
I don't think there's a disconnect. I think they're all on the same page. They know they have to do this, but they're not going to say that they were wrong and Donald Trump was right.
But this whole story literally just hit about the administration of Joe Biden restarting deportations to Venezuela to stop the southern border crossings. I mean, hell, last month they just granted 500,000 temporary work visas for these guys. That was probably a big mistake in retrospect. And now they're going to start sending them back on a legal basis.
And I'm willing to bet you, dollars to donuts here, they start in New York, they start in Chicago, they start in LA and San Francisco. Very large Democrat-led cities just to appease the leaders there, because they need every bit of support they can get. And right now, New York and Chicago especially are being very critical of the Biden White House. Now, don't for one second think that even though they're doing a few deportations and building a section of the wall, that this is anything that's long-term here, right? They might put one section up in Texas and then say, look, we put it up and it didn't work.
They're still coming.
They're still coming. And keep this in mind. Despite these record levels of people coming across the border, the ICE detention facility in California, the Adelanto, California ICE detention facility, according to Congressman Jay Obernolte, has only used 8 out of the 1,940 beds that are available. So think about how bad this crisis is of people coming across the border, nowhere to live, nowhere to stay. Only 8 beds are being used in the ICE detention facility. This tells me that Joe Biden and the Biden administration, despite what they're doing today, has told ICE, do not put people in your facilities. Now, imagine if you lived in Adelanto, California. You've got this big facility that's got nearly 2,000 beds, and only 8 are being used, because it would be the wrong message if the Biden administration had people living in an ICE facility. This is the kind of crap that's going on right now. And then there's this story. This is from the Boston Herald. A large number of service members and military veterans who booked hotel rooms for the big Army-Navy football game that happens later in November, they've already had their reservations canceled because they have to house migrant families and illegal aliens.
The people that served in the United States, military members, active and retired.
Yes.
Had reservations.
Correct.
Yet
being kicked to the curb for the people that stormed the border and came here illegally. That's not like some sort of rumor. This is from the very liberal Boston Herald. So again, the Biden White House, they've got a bit of a crisis right now. That's why they're going to start doing a few things here and there that, yes, might look like they're giving Trump a win, but this is just to appease the big blue cities and get them off his back for just a little bit. All right, Allison, this story is for you. You're the resident Swiftie here. Most people have gotten tired of hearing about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Did you get tickets for next year? Next November? Did you?
I did not. No, I was put on the waiting list and never got on.
But you saw her in Cincinnati,
I did see her in Cincinnati, yeah, and I'm going to go see the movie later this month.
Of course you are.
Of course you are.
I got you guys tickets, too.
Let's scalp them. So Travis Kelce and his brother Jason Kelce, who plays for the Eagles, they've got this podcast together.
Eagles!
And they were talking about how they think it's the NFL that's going overboard and overdoing promoting Taylor Swift's appearance at football games, specifically the relationship between Travis and Taylor?
I think it's fun when they show who all is at the game. I think it brings a little bit more to the atmosphere, brings a little bit more to what you're watching. But at the same time, I think they're overdoing it. They're overdoing it a little bit, especially my situation.
So Travis and Jason both say that it's the NFL that's overdoing, hyping up the relationship between Travis and Taylor.
Of course they are. Of course they are. They got the biggest star in the world coming to watch their product. Of course they're going to use that and expose that as much as possible.
There's a certain someone that has a problem with the Kelsey brothers, specifically Travis, blaming the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen A. Smith.
Travis Kelce, in all honesty, y'all, in all seriousness, my brother. I love Travis Kelce. That's my dog. Stop, bro. And your brother. Stop. First of all, great podcast. New Heights. Great, phenomenal podcast. They're doing a great job. Travis Kelce, stop. Bro, you did this.
Yeah.
Not the NFL.
Right.
That's what you did. Come on, bro. Come on now. I mean, listen, it's all in fun. Maybe it's a bit excessive. People trying to capitalize off of it attention-wise, monetizing it. I get it. But the instigator in all of this was you, my brother.
Don't blame the NFL. You were the one that chased Taylor Swift, got her phone number on some stupid bracelet. You're the one that puts all the pictures out there. It reminds me of Harry and Meghan Markle. They had a book out. They went on a media tour, and then they told everybody to respect their privacy. Well, it doesn't work that way. Matt Bear, you looked damn good in a toga last night. Can I just say that?
The toga felt good.
You were in a Animal House style toga, and we did shout at the end of the night, and that was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. And I even had the crown on my head, so that was the whatever the Greeks call them. I don't know
the leaf, thing on your head. Yeah,
I had a fig on my head. We're looking at eastbound 74 to Shelbyville. That's a crash before London Road. Block in the right lane, stopping traffic for about a mile and a half. Westbound is 70. Stop from the airport collector to State Road 267. It's a construction zone. Try US 40. That's backing up fierce. Eastbound 70 coming down the north split. Crash on the ramp to eastbound 70. We are backed up into the south split and then all the way back to Belmont. Northbound 465 crash. Lawrence East 56th Street. We're stopped at Penn Pike. Traffic sponsored by Mecum Auctions. Mecum's Indy Fall Specials open today at the Indiana State Fairgrounds with 1,000 muscle cars, classics, vets, trucks, and more. Register to bid at Mecum.com. It's Matt Bear at WIBC Traffic.
Kind of a gray day here in Indy. Rain pretty much all day long. 64 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. And up next, get ready for fun, a spirited round of Is This Anything?
We've created something special here in Carmel. I'm Sue Finkham, and it's here where I built my business and started a family and served as a leader on City Council, helping our community prosper and increasing government transparency. Now, we're America's #1 rated city, but we're just getting started. Lots of people talk about keeping Carmel the best city in America. But me, I'm the only one with the plan and experience to do it. I'm Sue Finkham. It's simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. And ensure development doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character.
Sue Finkham, the only candidate with the experience and vision to keep Carmel the best city in America, partnering with police to keep our community safe, and ensuring responsible development to help our community thrive.
Together, let's keep Carmel on the path to success.
On November 7th, vote Sue Finkham for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkham Victory Committee.
Hey, Ruthie, I'm making my Indiana sweet corn casserole, so if you got a reco, I'm all ears.
Well, Total Wine has this amazing straight bourbon whiskey that's made with 58% corn, so no wonder it's a hit here in Indianapolis.
Perfect. I'll pop it in my cart.
Also, check it out. We have it for the lowest price in town.
Wow, that's a low price. Ruthie, you're the best in your field.
Aw, shucks. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at your Total Wine & More in Indianapolis. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
Is your Generac home standby generator overdue for annual maintenance or an oil change? Schedule an inspection with a certified tech at Generator Supercenter to ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. GeneratorSupercenter.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I will run some stories by you. You break down the information, you weigh out the pros and the cons, and you tell us if the story in question is anything or not. President Biden's 2-year-old German Shepherd, Commander, has been removed from the White House for biting people.
Oh, no.
Now, this is a very serious story. Let's now go to the official first dog removal ceremony.
Okay. Yeah, this is...
It's Commander. Right there.
Didn't Major have to be sent away as well?
It was biting Secret Service guys.
They're not getting put down. They're just probably getting taken to a separate residence, and they won't be at the White House anymore. I mean, that dog was a biting machine. 11 documented incidents. One person needed hospitalization. The fact is that German Shepherds, like, it's one of the worst breeds that you could live with a first family in the White House. They're extremely protective of their people. Commander thinks he's the Secret Service, right?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of people running in and out. The Secret Service officers act and move differently than more different than most people. They exude intimidation, but the thing is, German Shepherds don't back down. And probably, and this is the thing here that everybody needs to know, they're likely to even be more protective because of Biden's quote-unquote frailty. Is that a good word?
Right.
So the German Shepherd is, they need a golden retriever at the White House. It's not fair to the dog.
They need a fish.
It's not fair.
The Bidens need a fish, a goldfish.
And really, it's not fair to the dogs either to have to be around all that chaos.
All right, serious question. I'm not even joking when I ask you this.
Goldfish.
Who has bitten more people, Commander or Joe? Like, I can see Joe Biden getting startled.
No.
Just bite somebody.
What was about sniffing? Replace biting with who sniffed more people.
Boy, I think the clubhouse favorite is Joe Biden on that one. They call for the bomb-sniffing dog, and Joe walks into the room. Is this anything? A Texas man officiating a wedding in Nebraska ended up shooting his 12-year-old grandson in the shoulder because he was trying to fire off a blank to get everybody's attention at the ceremony.
Oh.
Here is Lancaster County Sheriff talking about Michael Gardner accidentally shooting the child.
A gentleman who was officiating the wedding decided to gain everybody's attention and start the wedding with a bang that he was going to shoot a PETA 1860 snub-nosed revolver into the air with a blank to gain everybody's attention so that they could come up to the wedding. Well, when he decided to cock back the hammer of this revolver, it slipped, and it shot his grandson in the left shoulder, causing an injury.
Yeah, this is something. It's stupid. It's irresponsible. A gun guy's head is spinning around 360 right now. He hates these types of stories because it just gives responsible gun owners a bad name. Come on, dude. No.
Now, he used what he thought was a blank, and I'm reading a little bit here. Now, the good news, the child's injury is not life-threatening. That's the most important thing.
Right, but the gun went off and it hit him in the shoulder. But it was a blank, right?
The .45 Colt ammunition was a blank, but the guy put black powder into the casing and then glued it. And from what the police deputy can put together, it's the glue as to what caused the injury with the child.
I mean, what are you thinking? Anyway, it's like at the wedding, can you at least leave the gun in the car at the wedding?
And if your whole point of having it was to quiet down a group, you're the officiant. Just go up there, put your hands up, and everybody will understand what's going on. Or have the microphone, the DJ, the announcer, the band, whoever it is, please sit down now. The ceremony will begin soon.
I'm as pro 2A as they come, but can the officiant at my wedding leave the gun in the glove box? I don't know. I'm just saying.
What if it's Guy Relford? If Guy Relford is the officiant in your wedding, would you tell him to leave the gun at home?
He'd tell me to F off. Find yourself another officiant.
He wants to be a guest. He doesn't want to work.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of weddings, is this anything? Darius Rucker will sing at your wedding for a certain price. Hootie. Darius Rucker, Mr. Wagon Wheel, could perform at your wedding for a certain price.
You know what my wedding price is? $1 million. But I'll be the best wedding band you ever had. You can even name 5 songs we'll learn, but it's me. We played our butts off. We were great. I sang the wedding song, and then we go play the show.
So for $1 million,
that's awesome.
You could get Darius Rucker.
That'd be really cool. I don't know if I had the means. Hey, look, man. My daughter gets married, and I'm somehow a multimillionaire, and she wants to have Darius Rucker sing at the wedding. So be it. I'm dropping $1 million on that, but that's the only way.
Normally, this is reserved for like the high rollers, right? Like when Jeff Smulyan, our old owner, he got married. He had like Kenny Loggins, right?
Oh yeah, and Michael McDonald.
Both.
I was there. It was awesome.
It's an all-star cast.
I mean, I doubt they charged $1 million. But Darius Rucker's like the top of his game. So $1 million for him to go sing a couple songs at a wedding and then go do a real show. Go for it.
How much do you think I could get Sir Mix-a-Lot for right now?
See, we need another round of Cameo.
Wedding band Cameo.
Yeah, wedding band Cameo. Cameo price is right.
How much does Color Me Bad charge to perform at somebody's wedding?
I mean, can we type that in to Google right now?
All right. You do that during the break,
all right,
and then we'll come back on the Hammer and Nigel show.
Okay, Diamonds Direct, due to the overwhelming response, a huge sale they had, that's been extended, all right? It's been extended to this Saturday at 5 o'clock. Coming down to the wire, you come take advantage of a once-a-year offer. Now through Saturday, any purchase, you could spread your payments over 5 years with zero finance charges, zero interest for 5 whole years. That means a $10,000 engagement ring is just $167 a month.
Guys, if you're thinking about popping the question, if you're thinking about getting that amazing home run gift for the holidays, this is the deal. Here's the problem, though. The deal ends this Saturday, and it's not going to be extended again. So if you want to take advantage of 5 years, zero interest on everything in the store, 5 years, get to Diamonds Direct now through Saturday. DiamondsDirect.com. They can give you the hours, the location, or just stop by that beautiful showroom. It's right there at Keystone at the Crossing by the Green Bridge. Diamonds Direct. Get this deal. Time is a factor. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hammer Nigel here for Window Nation. Fall is the best time of the year. There's so much to love about the fall, especially the return of Window Nation's best offer of the year. Get 2 windows free for every 2 you buy. Put no money down, make no payments, and pay no interest for 2 years. If your old windows are hard to open and close or drafty and leaky, take care of it now before the cold weather arrives. You'll be loving the new look and feel of your home, plus up to 30% off your energy bills.
You'll also love Window Nation's knowledgeable exterior designs and quick, clean, accurate, professional installation. Not to mention, you'll love the savings with this fantastic offer. Put no money down, no payments, no interest for 2 full years. And for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows for free. But this offer will disappear as fast as the leaves on your maple tree. Call Window Nation right now. 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens. It's the big fall sale at Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden this week. 20 to 40% off nursery stock at Sundown Gardens and Miss M's. The nursery still has a large selection of container trees and shrubs. Visit Sundown Gardens and Miss M's to save between 20 and 40% off through the 15th of October. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield. Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How they made the arrest. 64 degrees, rainy downtown. Radar shows rain won't let up anytime soon. Low of 56 expected tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending. At 4:30, after nearly 4 months, police have arrested Kara Hines for a triple killing in Broad Ripple. Social media and security video made the case, says Indianapolis Deputy Police Chief Kendall Adams.
Those videos, along with body cam, played a critical role in helping us identify Ms. Hines as the suspect.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says petty arguments and a single punch led to the fatal shootings. Border walls don't work, says President Biden. He also says there's nothing he could have done after funds for the wall in Texas were approved.
I tried to get them to redirect that money. They didn't. They wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what it was appropriated. I can't stop that.
The Biden administration said it was waiving 26 federal laws to allow more border wall construction and a policy reversal. Momo, the missing monkey, is now in safe hands.
About 11 a.m., the monkey entered a vacant residence under construction. We shut the doors, and I was able to find the monkey in a back area that was a bathroom.
IMPD Lieutenant William Carter says the home was in the Iron Gate neighborhood on the east side. Momo is now with Indianapolis Animal Care Services, and the Indianapolis Zoo's also helped taking care of him. And there was a rogue sheep in Yorktown. Sasha Nixon explains.
In a Facebook post, the town of Yorktown said the sheep had been disrupting morning school traffic and wandering the town. The town also wrote that it might have been a bit hot-headed as it could charge and harm anyone who approached. But officials appeared to be having some fun with the escape. The town commented a picture of 2 cows and said these individuals were interrogated at length, seemed to think the search was moot. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Your stock report, the Dow dropped by 9 points to 33,119. The NASDAQ down by 16 to 13,219. And the S&P 500 is slipping by 5 to 4,258. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
You probably know how much money you've saved in your IRA or 401k, correct?
Oh, I know to the penny. Casey and I work in radio, so it's not that much.
Okay, well, here's another question. Do you know how much you'll owe in taxes on this money in retirement?
Absolutely not, because I'm an idiot, Casey. That's why I seek the help of trained professionals.
Well, that's the most important number you really need to know, Rob. Otherwise, you're not going to know how much money you really do have.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k. Just go to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. That's SaveTaxesWithBill.com. Just input a few numbers and you'll instantly see how much money you could save in taxes when you retire. It's from Bill Dimry, our good friend right here in Indy.
Don't give the government a nickel more in taxes than you have to. Learn how much money you could save in taxes when you retire by going to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. It's SaveTaxesWithBill.com.
With traffic at 4:33, here's Matt Bear.
Man, are we in trouble downtown. Crash southbound 65, 70 at Washington Street. The right lane has blocked traffic jammed into the north split at onto southbound 65. That's a mess all the way back to MLK and then some. It is a semi-crash coming eastbound as 70. It's on the ramp from northbound 65-70 to eastbound 70 in the north split. Crash, 2 right lanes are blocked because of this rolled semi-trailer. Traffic stop back to the south split. That's also backing up eastbound 70 from Holt Road to the south split. Lawrence southbound 465 stop Keystone Avenue down to Penn Pike because of construction, and a crash northbound 465 at East 71st backing us up all the way to I-70. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you you by with B Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to B. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Considerable cloudiness is expected as you move into the Thursday evening conditions. Rain also expected from time to time with a low temperature near 63. Winds light and variable, and a few showers to linger on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Strike 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Earlier we were talking about I don't know, we had that story about Darius Rucker, the country music singer. I know him from the lead singer from Hootie and the Blowfish. Loved Crack Rear View. Played it front to back on my.
Everybody had that album, I think, at one point.
But now he's a world famous, super famous country music singer. And he said the cost it would be to play a wedding. Like he's been hired, high rollers hired to play a wedding. 5 songs, whatever, is $1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million for Darius Rucker.
You can have Hootie be your wedding band for $1 million.
$1 million. So you asked me, okay, so if Darius Rucker's getting $1 million, how much is Color Me Bad getting?
Right. Artist from the 90s, Color Me Bad, the song we came into this break with, I Want to Sex You Up, famous from the movie New Jack City. What does Color Me Bad charge for a wedding?
I've got it in front of me. Do you want to guess?
We're doing like cameo prices, right?
Do you want a range? Do an over-under?
All right, let me give you a number, what I think they charge, and you tell me if I'm in the ballpark or not. $150,000.
Nowhere close. Nowhere close.
My higher or lower?
Way high. I'll give you one more.
$20,000.
$15,000 to $24,000.
Okay.
$15,000 to $24,000 is how much. No, I'm wrong. I was looking at the wrong one. It's even worse. $7,500 to $1,400.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hell, if I get a good parlay this weekend, I might just hire Color Me Bad to come in here and perform.
$7,500 to $14,000 is Color Me Bad. I was looking at Winger.
Oh, well, hell, I'd rather have Winger.
You could get Winger. She's only 17.
How do you think Grandma's going to feel when Winger goes up there with the bride right there saying she's only 17?
Their Winger is between 15 and 25 grand. You also asked about Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Right. I want Baby Got Back at my wedding. How much is that going to run me?
It's about the same, 15 to 25 grand.
Okay. That's
anything
doable.
Else? Anything else?
Who else is on the list?
I don't have a list. I just got this thing that's in front of me that you could type in a band or an artist.
Okay. Vanilla Ice. Because our old producer, Kyle, TK Dub, he always said he wanted Vanilla Ice to play his wedding if he ever, settled down.
Do you think it's more or less than Color Me Bad?
I would say more because of like pop culture stuff. He pops up in Adam Sandler movies and stuff.
50 to 40 to 74 grand.
Well, hell, I might as well book Color Me Bad like twice compared to one Vanilla Ice.
But I'm having fun here. Let's see. Who else?
Are we talking just about random artists?
Just like, What
if I want Snoop? I bet Snoop is real expensive.
Dude, you're not getting him for less than...
Think Snoop's around $1 million?
If you want him to feature on if you want him to sing on your song, it's $250,000 for 16 bars. If you want to book him for a concert, it's $2 million.
$2 million. Again, I'd rather book Hootie twice.
But but if you just want him on your song, like for 16 bars, that means that 16, like a minute or two, it's $250,000.
So what's it going to do? Like your wedding song, but Snoopified? Like the way you look tonight, performed by Snoop D-O-double-G?
This is just anything, performing anything. This isn't necessarily weddings. How much does it cost to book Nelson?
Oh, Love and Affection, the two blonde-haired dudes.
$7,500 to 15 grand.
That's about right. Those
So
are
all
like
of
the
these-
artists you see at the casino sometimes too. Like that's about the money you would pay to have these types of artists play, at the casino in Shelbyville or Anderson or something like that.
Well, how much did it cost to book Mini Kiss when you were at the casino?
It wasn't quite that. It was substantially cheaper for that. We did a lot of the cover bands there. As a matter of fact, I looked it up. There's a Color Me Bad cover band called Cover Me Bad. I kind of want to book Cover Me Bad.
Mini Kiss, $2,500 to $7,500.
Yeah. Trust me, they're not getting $7,500.
They're getting the low end of that.
I've been on the other end of that phone call. They ain't getting $7,500.
All right. What about Afro Man? What do you say?
Before I got high, Afro Man's probably around the price of Color Me Bad.
A little more, 25 to 40.
Really?
Yeah.
Because at least Color Me Bad had, I would say, 3 hits. Afro Man's just got 1. Because I got high. Now, does he show up high? Does he show up in character? Like if you book an Elvis impersonator, you kind of want him to show up in the jumpsuit.
Right.
If I book Afro Man, I kind of want him to be high.
Rick Astley.
Oh, I bet he's real expensive. Never going to give you up. Together forever.
We're in the 1 to 200,000 range.
Okay, that's about right. He plays like venue still. He goes on the road. I've actually spoke to Rick Astley. He did the Vogue not that long ago. He's a really nice dude, and he plays fun cover songs in his concert. He does like AC/DC. He does Highway to Hell, and he's the one that plays the drums on it. Yeah, he gets on there and starts going after it.
What do we think about Salt and Pepper?
Whoa, they're a hit machine. I'm going to say $200,000.
Really? That much?
Yeah. Push It. What a Man. Let's talk about sex.
Hold on.
And there's a lot of people in that group, so you got to pay for Salt, Pepper, and DJ Spinderella.
You're right. 150 to 300 grand.
So yeah,
I could do this. I could do this all day long. This is fun.
What about one-hit wonder Gerardo, Rico Suave fame?
Gerardo.
Is Gerardo less than 6 figures?
Is it Gerardo Ortiz?
I would imagine.
His name?
Gerardo.
That's a Mexican singer-songwriter. That's a Mexican guy.
Maybe he doesn't do weddings anymore. Maybe he doesn't do that.
Again, these aren't weddings. These are just general bookings.
I know people are listening right now are like, talk about the Speaker of the House. But can I, one more.
Okay, give me one.
Cisco. If you want the Thong Song Live, QO. Yeah.
QSISQO. 40 to 75 grand.
Okay. Because that was what, Will Ferrell liked in the movie Old School. Maybe we can go home and turn Cisco on. Vince Vaughn references that in a Dodgeball, I believe, as well. All right. If you've got an artist you want us to look up, by all means, get on the YouTube chat, tweet at us at Hammer and Nigel. But
it was fun. I like that.
Are you ready for some energy, Nige?
Yeah.
Are you ready for some excitement? Are you ready to be so jacked up you're going to run through a brick wall?
Give it to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mitch McConnell.
I'd like to start by thanking Speaker McCarthy for his service. We had a great personal relationship, trying to lead two very different parts of the American government. I think he has much to be proud of. We avoided a government shutdown. We did the inevitable with regard to the debt ceiling. One person is extremely grateful for his service. I have no advice to give to House Republicans except one. I hope whoever the next speaker is gets rid of the motion to vacate.
Oh, he wants to change the rules.
This guy just...
Wow.
He embodies everything that's wrong in Washington, D.C., from term limits to swamp monsters. This guy, his whole argument here is how dare those disgusting rank and file members of Congress want to hold their leaders accountable. And you know why he's saying that? Because he is a leader. And I bet a lot of people in the Senate find him unacceptable. But
that's a total Democrat move, too. I mean, it's when the rules don't work for you, like whether it be the filibuster or the Electoral College or packing the Supreme Court. They want the rules. They want the rules changed. I mean, when Donald Trump, do you think if Hillary Clinton would have beat Donald Trump with the Electoral College, but not the popular vote? Right? That's how you win the Electoral College, not the popular vote.
And it's a brilliant system set up so that way 4 states don't just pick the president.
Do you think there would have been an outcry after that to change how it works?
No.
Because there was certainly an outcry to change it after Donald Trump won.
Right.
To change it to the popular vote. But that would not have been word one of changing how it worked. That would have been the other way around with Hillary Clinton winning the electoral rather than the popular.
The Electoral College is designed so that California, Texas, New York, and Florida don't pick the president. Because if you live in a flyover state, if you live in Iowa, Nebraska, Indiana, your reasons for voting for the president are substantially different than those states that we mentioned. So it always cracked me up when these people would whine and complain about the Electoral College. Somebody is suggesting a band name, Nigel, on Twitter. Now, I think one of these guys may be dead, so they might not be doing weddings anymore. Right said Fred, the I'm Too Sexy people. I believe one of the Freds is no longer with us.
How much is it to book?
Would you want to go to a wedding if Right Said Fred is performing?
Right Said Fred.
Might creep out everybody. I'm not sure.
I'm just seeing the number of $10.99. So I don't think they are currently performing.
Chucky.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I got this other thing that's saying $7,500 to $15,000. So.
Now, again, I need to double check because we might be only getting one Fred. I want to make sure we're getting our money's worth here. Chucky on Twitter, we were having a conversation about Mini Kiss.
Yeah.
And how, when I worked at the casino in Shelbyville, we booked Mini Kiss.
What is Mini Kiss, by the way? Just remind people.
It's a Kiss cover band of all little people.
Yes.
Short people. Chucky on Twitter, so you're saying Mini Kiss was half price? You guys got a lot of growing up to do. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
If there is blame to go around, it will begin and it will end right here.
That's Joe Hogsett laying out his crime plan back in 2017.
I am responsible.
The results? Over 800 police have left the force, most since the protests when Joe was absent.
I am responsible.
Murders are up 52%, and the odds of getting away with it are better than a coin flip. Only 35% of cases were solved last year.
I am responsible.
Mental health is underfunded. Homelessness on the rise. And now, Indy ranks 4th in lethal overdoses.
I am responsible.
It's just not working.
I am responsible because I happen to be the mayor.
So I ask you, isn't it time for a change?
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
Do you want to dig yourself out of credit card debt? Do you want to do some home remodeling? Is finance an issue right now? If you have answered yes to all of those things, I encourage you to call my friends at Loan Pronto. Hammer here from the Hammer and Nigel show, loanpronto.com. This is a great new company, and it's a great way to get cash fast. With Loan Pronto, you could get $50,000 or $100,000 out right now. As a matter of fact, you could actually access about 90% of your home's value. And what's great about Loan Pronto, they make the process incredibly easy. You supervise everything. They do all the work. They do the paperwork. And usually this can all go down without an appraisal. So stop paying insane credit card rates. Start doing those home remodeling projects. Dig yourself out of debt with Loan Pronto. 317-953-6525. That's 953-6525. 953-6525. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval.
Design it before you buy it.
Up to 50% off all products and 2.99% financing plus $550 installation credit.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
It's gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baird Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Matt Bear, we've got a wet, kind of nasty day outside. Is that affecting the commute?
Oh, Hammer, this rush hour is brutal. Looking at southbound 6570, it's a crash at Washington Street with the right lane blocked, has it stopped all the way back to MLK, and then slow to 38 Kessler, has 70 backed up the westbound side to Sherman Drive. Northbound 6570, it's on the north split ramp to eastbound 70, a rolled semi blocking a couple of lanes, stopping traffic into the south split and jamming up eastbound 70 from Belmont. Right now, southbound 465 in Lawrence moving at 23 mile per hour average from Keystone Avenue down to East 56th Street. Northbound 465 stopped from 70 up to 71st because of a crash. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it with B Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to B. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Matt Bear, you were hilarious last night as the host and MC of A Night with WIBC, by the way.
Thank you.
You
that's
killed
really
it.
Cool. Thanks for saying something.
Walking around, lifting weights constantly at inappropriate times, putting on the toga, throwing the leafy top part of it into the crowd.
What was the... I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot here, but you had this joke that I was dying laughing about, the red line.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about the red line and pedestrian safety, and I'm going to totally blow it. But basically, we have pedestrian safety, but yet several years ago, we put on a bus that nobody can hear, the stealth bus. And maybe instead of $6 billion, send stealth bus over to Ukraine. And all of a sudden, Zelensky has this fat man and little boy because Putin can't hear the bus.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. It takes forever to get there. But
that's all right.
It was better last night.
You were great. No, the crowd loved you last night.
Well,
you got a huge reaction. Man.
You guys were hilarious. Good Lord.
Yeah, we had
showmanship. Fun. Man, that was fun.
Good time last night. 64 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Did you grow up in a birthday family or a non-birthday family?
What do you mean?
This social media person has gone viral explaining the difference. Go ahead.
You either come from a birthday family or you don't. And what I mean by birthday family is like a family that from the moment you wake up in the morning on your birthday until the moment you go to sleep, the entire day is about you. It's about celebrating you. It's about going crazy celebrating you, like celebrating you to the highest extent possible. And if you're not a birthday family, that kind of looks like you wake up and people say, hey, happy birthday. They give you some gifts and it's just kind of like a regular day, except people said happy birthday to you. So I come from the former. My mom would wake me up. And
we can turn it off now. So like we make a big deal out of our kids' birthdays. It's all about them. It's surprising them. It's, balloons and hanging stuff up and gifts and stuff. But when I was growing up, I had good birthdays when I was a kid, sure. But it wasn't like an all day, thing. It was, I got up, opened my presents and then went to school, and that was it.
I think I was the birthday family. Yeah. I was the only child, so parents were like, all right, we're going to make a big deal out of it, and it was awesome. Now, it's crazy because I've gotten older. I am the opposite. I don't want anything really to do.
Well, yeah.
I just want my kids to have memorable
I try
birthdays.
to do stuff for Lindsay. I want the kids, and she tries to make it special for me, but it's not overboard like we go for the kids.
So
it's
the question
different.
is, if it's her birthday, is she expecting you to do something for her?
We talk about it. So in other words, it's like, look, don't
I'm
go
aware
spend
of your
a lot
birthday
money.
and we're not doing crap. Love you. Is that how it goes?
We discuss it. I try to incorporate her family and stuff like that.
Okay.
But with the kids, it's different for sure.
Yeah, and wait till your kids get older because it becomes harder and harder, because my oldest, he's moved out on his own. So, he just had a birthday in August and he's 19 now. So the gifts become different. Like instead of having like an all-day party with cake and stuff, you make sure he's got groceries, gas, you take him out to a nice dinner and you do that kind of thing. And then one of these days, these kiddos are going to be expecting a car on that birthday, Nige.
Oh, boy.
16th birthday.
Real quick, I wanted to get to this. A new poll asked people how often they watch TV while eating dinner at home. 24% say they always do. Another 28% say they usually do. Only 9% of people say they never watch TV while having dinner. Our TV's usually on, but it's like by the time I get home, here's my thing. I never sit down when I eat dinner. I'm always standing up at the island in the middle of the kitchen.
Okay.
There's not enough room. There's like only 3 stools. And if the kids are still there eating, I stand up probably 90% of my dinners during the week at least.
I'm a TV guy. I'm a TV
TV's
guy.
on in the background. You can see your TV from our kitchen.
Yep. And I'm curious about this, though. 24, 28, 9. That doesn't equal 100%. Where's everybody else doing for dinner here? Do they not believe in dinner? Do they not have a television? What's going on?
They sit on the can?
Maybe they're on the can having their dinner.
Salisbury steak on the toilet?
It's a power move. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
U.S. Senate. Next year, Indiana Republicans will have the choice to pick our next U.S. Senator. But if it's up to Mitch McConnell and the D.C. swamp, we'll have no choice. The Washington elite and political insiders are trying to rig this election for their hand-picked career politician ally, Jim Banks. That's why conservative businessman and Indiana farmer John Rust has stepped up to fight for us. As a lifelong conservative, John believes we need an outsider's voice that's focused on Hoosiers. John Rust is committed to fighting the woke liberal mob, defending seniors by protecting Social Security, and creating an economy that works for middle-class families, not DC insiders. While Jim Banks and Mitch McConnell are focused on keeping power for themselves, John Rust is focused on putting Indiana first. Career politicians like Jim Banks are always talking about solving problems. But we can trust businessmen like John Rust to actually get the job done.
I'm U.S. Senate candidate John Rust, and I approve this message.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family heating and air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Colorectal cancer rates are on the rise, especially in younger adults. The good news? It's one of the few cancers that can be prevented through screening. So we're keeping up, making some changes, and saving lives. Franciscan Health now offers colonoscopy screenings for adults aged 45 and up. No doctor referral needed. And they're covered at 100% by most insurance plans. Are you 45? Screen sooner. Schedule your colonoscopy at franciscanhealth.org/coloncare.
Hey, JMV here with Lance Smith, owner of LD Smith Plumbing. And Lance, what's that on your shirt?
Well, I just helped pull out 50 feet of old sewer line and installed a new water heater. Oh, and I just ate some chocolate pudding, too.
So that could be mud, chocolate, or...
I guess so.
Oh, no, Lance. We're out of here. Let Lance and his heroes handle all of your plumbing problems. They're truly dirty, stinking honest. LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Being diagnosed with cancer doesn't mean facing it alone. At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, we follow a multidisciplinary approach, bringing together specialists in every area of cancer care.
And if it wasn't for that team, I wouldn't be here. They put the right plan together and made it work. And I'm so grateful.
Your circle of support just got stronger. Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Dillon's Jam Session Truck Insurance.
Where the backwoods party and the diddle-de-doo.
We're good at Ben's Hype Machine on Wheels insurance.
You a boss. You were him.
And we're good at Ethan's SUV with surround sound insurance.
Dad, play Johnny Johnny Apple Pie.
You got it, bud.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
For those fortunate enough to help the person who has always been their hero, find the care guides you need to help at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Coming up in 2 minutes, police have made an arrest in a fatal shooting in Broad Ripple. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor says he's ready to put the pads on and play. And Mecum Auctions is back in Indianapolis. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
A clarification from the Homeland Security Chief. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas just out with a statement saying earlier language is being taken out of context when he announced border wall construction would resume.
This 20-mile stretch of border wall is going to be going in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas said there is a, quote, acute and immediate need to construct physical barriers at this stretch of the border that is seeing high illegal entry.
Fox's Jeff Paul in Eagle Pass, Texas, but the White House says legally they have no choice because Congress wouldn't approve changes in appropriations made before President Biden was elected. Well, the new statement from Mayorkas also points to that and says there is no change in policy on a border wall. Meantime, the administration just announcing it is resuming deportations of Venezuelan migrants who don't have a legal basis to remain in the U.S. This as top officials, including Mayorkas, hold meetings in Mexico. The mass shooter who wounded 10 people in the New York City subway last year gets life in prison. Frank James pleaded guilty to terrorism counts earlier this year.
The sentence followed victim impact statements, and James claimed he was failed by the country's mental health system. U.S. Attorney for New York's Eastern District, Breon Peace, said even though no one died in the incident, there was intense fear inflicted.
Each time he pulled the trigger on his handgun, he made the choice to try to take a life.
James' defense hoped to reduce his sentence to no more than 18 years, citing those mental health issues.
Fox's Gernal Scott. 3 people now indicted on charges related to fentanyl exposure that left 4 children poisoned and 1 dead at a New York City daycare center. 2 suspects, including the daycare owner, pleading not guilty to murder and other counts. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
An arrest has been made. 63 degrees, rainy in downtown Indianapolis with rain all over your radar. Low temps tonight drop to the mid-50s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Police have arrested a woman for the triple shooting in Broad Ripple that left 3 people dead. Donnie Burgess reports.
I said it before. This is senseless.
Indianapolis Deputy Police Chief Kendale Adams.
3 lives lost. 1 life still injured.
Kara Hines was arrested Thursday morning. She's charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of reckless homicide. This is all the fault of petty arguments and people who can't handle conflict, says prosecutor Ryan Mears.
There was a punch thrown, and from that single punch being thrown, we end up with multiple shots being fired from multiple firearms.
Shell casings were matched to Hines' gun, says the court papers. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Get ready for temperatures to drop this weekend, says Jason Puma with the National Weather Service.
When we get to Saturday morning, we're going to have low temperatures on Saturday morning, probably in the middle 40s. And then on Sunday morning, we're looking at low temperatures right around 40 degrees.
Puma says this rain is also going to stick around through the evening. Just before the start of the season, Colts running back Jonathan Taylor was asking for a trade. Now he's ready to play.
Because I'm here. I mean, if somebody wasn't committed, they wouldn't be here. And right now, I'm here, and my number one goal is to really attack this first practice.
He also says he wants to help the team win a championship. Taylor could play in Sunday's game against the Tennessee Titans, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. Mecum Auctions has kicked off its fall show today over at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Ryan Hetrick was there.
CEO Dave Majors says the popular consignment show will sell about 350 cars per day for the next 3 days. But
about 85% of the people that will come to any Mecum auction, including this one, aren't coming to buy or sell a car. They're coming as a spectator.
This is the first time Mecum Auctions has held 2 shows in Indianapolis in the same year. Mecum says the fall show built off the popularity of its spring event. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. Your time is 5:04.
My little brother's friends have been camped out at our place for 2 days straight. 3. It's because of the Xfinity 10G network. Internet that can handle a house full of screens at once, with basically no interruptions. And it's only getting faster. When I was their age, internet like this was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Please go home.
The next generation 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through November 15th, new customers can get 75 megabit internet on the next generation Xfinity 10G network for just $20 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service. Actual speeds vary.
With traffic on the 5 at 5:05, how's it going, Matt Bear?
It's bad downtown Harrison. We have gridlock on the downtown streets and crashes on the interstates. Eastbound 70 in the north split. That's a rolled semi-trailer. It's on the ramp from northbound 65-70 like you're going north between the south and north split. A semi is there blocking 2 right lanes, and cleanup continues with the stop traffic to the south split. That also backs up eastbound 70 from the west side, Holt Road to the south split. Our other crash is southbound 65-70 Washington Street. That backs us up into the north split, and southbound 65 jam-packed from 38th Kessler down to Meridian Penn. Westbound 70 up by the airport, stop traffic from Ronald Reagan Parkway to State Road 267. That's construction. And eastbound 465 Lawrence stopped Westfield Boulevard down to East 56th Street because of construction. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Considerable cloudiness is expected as you move into the Thursday evening conditions. Rain also expected from time to time with a low temperature near 63. Winds light and variable, and a few showers still linger on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Strike 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock!
On a gray, dreary, rainy day in Indianapolis, there's only one way to bring a little sunshine into our lives, Nige. And that's by checking in with wheelin', dealin', hair-sniffing, kiss-stealing Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
True international average of pressure.
I'm going to go to bed.
Still floors me. He stood there on a stage in front of the world and just said, I'm going to go to bed. And everybody's fine with it, apparently. So the Biden administration, they rolled out plans today. Nige, this is a wild idea. I don't know if anybody has ever thought of this before, but the Biden administration wants to put up some wall at the border now.
Well, they have a spin to it. They don't really want to do it. And I love the headline I'm looking right here on Fox News. Biden administration flips on, quote, bigoted border wall after long history of attacks on Trump proposals.
Had to throw the key word in there, right?
Yeah, I thought those walls were racist. Now all of a sudden, not so much.
Here is Joe Biden earlier today when he was asked about the border wall.
Answer one question on the border wall. The border wall, the money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to reappropriate, to redirect that money. They didn't. They wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what it was appropriated. I can't stop that.
No, but you chose now to use it. It's been in there for over 2.5 years from before you were the president, and you chose now to use it for the border wall.
Why do you think what's going on now?
Well, It could be a number of things, Nigel, and I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah.
It could be the invasion at the southern border, the humanitarian crisis at the southern border, or his big liberal buddies that run New York and Chicago and L.A. and San Francisco.
There you go.
They're a little upset because people called their bluff on being a sanctuary city. That's what it's about. It has nothing to do with the humanitarian crisis. It has nothing to do with anything else. Joe Biden could have sat on this money till the final day of his presidency and then said, look, I'll do something with it. I'll put a wall up now. I'm out of here. Bite me. But that's not what he did. He put it up now because he's getting pressure from high-ranking Democrats.
Well, and the DHS secretary, Mayorkas. I mean, it's all, look, man, it's polling, right? It's a disaster. We have, like you said, blue cities from New York to Chicago and everywhere in between Los Angeles, just absolutely hammering Joe Biden, calling him out, finally, using him by name. I mean, Pritzker in Illinois wrote a letter to Biden. Hey, we probably should start thinking about doing something about the border.
Right. Now, again, Pritzker, you were the one that welcomed being a sanctuary state and a sanctuary city. Same thing in New York. Everybody loves being a sanctuary city or sanctuary state until people call their bluff on it, and now they're like, well, crap, that backfired. Mayorkas, the DHS secretary, he said there is, quote, an immediate need for miles of new border wall. But this is what he said back in 2021.
Why didn't you build, forgive me, a wall or a fence to stop them from walking in this flood of people coming across the dam? It looks like a highway that allows them to cross the Rio Grande.
It is the policy of this administration. We do not agree with the building of the wall.
2 years later, but they do agree with building the wall.
And I just heard at the top of the hour, Mayorkas trying to walk it back a little bit. But we all know what's happening. I mean, the Biden administration just agreed to deport tens of thousands of Venezuelans that are here illegally.
Right.
It's happening. It's starting.
And the only reason that's happening is because New York, Chicago, L.A., and Frisco are ticked off. They didn't think people would call their bluff. Now, in that same little mumbling press session that he had earlier today, Joe Biden pulled out notes directly from a card, and he's reading directly from a note card. I want to see if you can understand what's going on here, Nige.
And also our continued enhancement of stability in the Indo-Pacific area.
Now, the audio wasn't the greatest, but luckily for you, I've got the official transcript from the White House. Allison, I'm tasking you with reading this official transcript from Joe Biden.
And also our continued enhancement of stability in the Indo-Pacific whole area.
Okay. Now, Allison, I want you to read along, mumble along with Joe Biden.
And also our continued enhancement of stability in the Indo-Pacific whole area.
Well done. Well done, Allison.
Oh, wow.
That's our president. That's our guy. That's the commander-in-chief right there.
Ain't my guy.
Earlier today, kind of a surprise, Colts running back Jonathan Taylor met with reporters, met with the media, and again, this dude's going to be a politician. There's no doubt in my mind, because the way he dodges some of these questions, it's like he's dodging defenders out there on the football field. Our friend Kevin Bowen from 107.5 The Fan asked Jonathan Taylor directly if he still wants to be a member of the Indianapolis Colts.
Listen, like I said, I'm here right now, and my number one thing is to take care of my teammates. A lot of people worry about what I want. What I want doesn't matter what necessarily I want. What matters is what this team needs, what this team wants, what this city wants, and what this city needs. And what this city needs is a championship. And while I'm here, that's what I'm going to work my tail off to do. That's what I work my tail off to get the opportunity.
Okay, you can stop that right there.
So the answer is no. He doesn't want to be a Colt.
And also in that same press conference, a lot of people had questions about the contract. Are you going to get a new contract? What's the latest with the contract? Here's Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I'm not here to get into any contract things. Those were over the course of this offseason, but the season is here. We got the Tennessee Titans on the clock. Division game, division matchup. It's okay. I mean, it's the media's job to speculate and, what's going on? Only one thing that matters is the people inside of these walls. Oh, listen, like I said, I'm here right now, and my number one thing is to take care of my teammates. A lot of people worry about what I want. What I want doesn't matter what necessarily I want. What matters is what this team needs, what this team wants, what this city wants, and what this city needs.
He had a talking point, didn't he?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
His agent kept saying, all right, talk about the city, talk about what the team needs. That's going to be good for you. But just stop all the crap with, look, I know the press and the reporters have to do their thing. You were the one that said you wanted to be traded. Your agent came out and was a big pain in the ass about the whole thing. Look, I don't know if it's Jonathan Taylor or maybe it's his agent, maybe it's both, but it certainly isn't the media's fault that this whole thing has gone a little squirrely. All right, Matt Bear, what's up?
All right, fellas, here it is. Downtown, getting out not easy. We have a crash, a road semi eastbound at 70 from the ramp, northbound at 65-70 in the north split. The ramp is open, barely stopped back to the south split. That stops eastbound 70 from Belmont. And then southbound 65-70 Washington. Earlier crash has us backed up into the north split and slow back to 21st. Lawrence is a zoo, northbound 465 stopped after 70 up to 71st Street. That is because of an earlier crash. Southbound lane stopped right now. Keystone Avenue down to Penn Pike because of construction. Westbound 70 Hendricks stopped from the airport ramps to State Road 267 because of maintenance. Traffic sponsored by IndySchools.org. Every child deserves a great public school that meets their needs, and charter schools are an option that's free, public, and open to all. Find out more at IndySchools.org. I'm Matt Barrett, WIBC Traffic.
64. Light rain at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hoosiers should know that the Holcomb administration is preparing to strip access to therapy from thousands of children with autism. These proposed cuts would devastate families caring for children with autism, force therapy centers to close, and lead to therapy deserts right here in West Central Indiana. Even worse, Governor Holcomb's administration is making this decision based on out-of-date information, skewing the results. We must stop this callous attack on Hoosier children with autism. Otherwise, thousands of Indiana families will lose access to services. Nicole Parker from Darlington is a mom of a child with autism who would lose access to services.
These callous cuts are not what Hoosiers stand for. I urge legislators and the State Budget Committee to say no to the Holcomb administration's proposed cuts.
Leaders of the State Budget Committee must reject the Holcomb administration's rate proposal. Support a rate that keeps centers open and protects life-changing therapy for children with autism. Paid for by the Market Institute.
Have you been treated by cardiologist Dr. Ed Harlemert? Dr. Harlemert is being investigated for allegedly performing unnecessary heart catheterizations and stents. In 2017, he was terminated by IU Health. Ed Harlemert has treated patients at multiple Indiana hospitals for over 30 years. If you've been a patient of Dr. Harlemert, contact the law firm of Cohen & Malad to have your care investigated. Call Cohen & Malad 317-636-6481 or visit cohenandmalad.com.
The proof is in the numbers, people. Window Nation installed over 200,000 windows last year. What does that tell you? 40 times more than the average window company. I have Window Nation windows. My mom just made an appointment to have some new Window Nation windows installed, and she got a great deal. Best offer of the year. 2 windows free for every 2 you buy. No money down, no payments, no interest.
866-90-NATION. Remember that number. Even if you're just thinking about getting new windows, make that phone call to Window Nation, talk to one of their awesome representatives, and lock this deal in. Now, the deal is a game changer. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, and there's no limit. The more windows you buy, the more free ones you get. And that's on top of the existing deal of no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. You're going to save thousands of dollars, but you got to lock the deal in. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com and tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Mecum Auctions. The world's largest collector car auction company returns to Indy for the fall special, October 5th to the 7th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, customs, and more. Broadcast live on Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
I saw this and I was just defeated, Hammer. Ugh. A new study now shows that levels of what they call good cholesterol may actually increase dementia risk.
Oh, no.
The HDL cholesterol is much more complex than previously thought. Are you okay with this?
I mean, I'm not a scientist, so I'm kind of just going by their word here, so I kind of have to be okay with it. Now, I'm looking at the study.
Yeah.
The new study published in a publication called Neurology yesterday found that having either high or low levels of high-density lipoprotein
HDL
may increase your risk of dementia in older adults.
So what you're saying is it doesn't matter high or good levels?
So apparently somebody has been putting way too much protein in Joe Biden's diet because if it's increasing the risk of dementia, this is a problem. Now, I'm going to defer to you on this one because this hits home for you.
It hits, yeah, it does, because I just got my labs back. I do a yearly physical like you're supposed to do every year. The past couple of years, I've had the bad cholesterol's been high and the good cholesterol hasn't been where it needed to be. I finally got those numbers in check, man. Put in the work. I'm on the statin, and so I felt good about my numbers this year for my labs. And then I see a study showing that levels of good cholesterol might actually increase dementia. There is history of dementia in my family.
Oh no.
I can't win with this kind of crap.
It's like with bacon and coffee and eggs, too. Like, there's a new study that comes out every other day. You know, eggs are good for you. Eggs will kill you.
A study, one glass of wine a night is great for your heart. Then the next day, a glass of wine every day, it will contribute to heart disease.
Right. You can't win.
I was really kind of just to use the word, defeated when I saw this new study.
So I take from you, you're not okay with this.
I'm not okay with this. I don't know if I even really believe it or not. Now, the part of my labs that were not good, and I'll fully admit this, and it's almost always because of the use of alcohol, were my triglycerides. Through the roof, baby.
Well, they didn't get any help last night at A Night with WIBC.
Not when we did the drinking game backstage before the show.
Little Thunder beers never hurt anybody.
No. All right, let's move on. A retired Australian spent almost 500 days at sea after booking 51 straight cruises because it's cheaper than a retirement home. Are you okay with this?
Yes, I love this story. So this tells you everything you need to know about costs in the world right now. Not just the United States, but in the world. These retired Aussies, they compared the cost of staying in a nursing home, where meals are provided and care is there, to just going on a cruise and staying on a perpetual cruise where they have buffets. They have a doctor aboard.
Yes.
They weighed out the pros and cons and said, screw it, we're just going to stay at sea. It was cheaper for them to do these cruises than it was to stay in a nursing home.
And cruise prices right now, or at least they were coming out of the pandemic, were incredible. I mean, people were snatching up left and right. I mean, I see how. By the way, Australia they had incredibly draconian lockdowns.
Oh, it was hardcore
it was
there.
2 years of strict lockdowns in COVID-19. We thought things were crazy here. They were lunatics in that country.
I'm reading more here. These are great-grandparents. Look at them living their best life. These are great-grandparents, and they're out there on the Love Boat. They're hanging out with Isaac. They're having drinks. They're playing grab ass with Captain Steubing. Gophers running around somewhere.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
I have never been on a cruise. I have not.
I never have either. I don't know if I know people that swear by them. Our boss, David, tries to go on multiple cruises a year. I've had other people that have negative experiences on cruises. I have a feeling that's the only way I'm going to get to see like the world, though, is if I take one of those Mediterranean cruises or like a Nordic cruise or an Alaskan cruise. I think I'd like to do that someday.
Do you get motion sickness at all?
No. I've been on boats before and
with these big mega, cruise ships, I don't even know if you feel anything or not. But
I don't know.
If you've been on one of these big, awesome cruises, let us know. Do you feel the motion in the ocean? And I'm talking about the actual ocean.
End of an era, Hammer. The CDC has announced they've stopped printing COVID-19 vaccination cards. They distributed around 1 billion of them total. Are you okay with this?
No more vax cards being passed out. Yes, I'm okay with this. God, I hate that thing in my wallet. I've got one of these things because remember, I had to get the stupid vax against my will to keep my job and provide for my family at the old ownership.
I think the only time I ever used that stupid vaccine card was to email it to HR.
Yeah.
It never got any more use out of me.
And listen, I get, people coming up to me all the time. Well, how come you're not like Rob Kendall? Why didn't you fight it? Because I didn't want to have a fake religious exemption, and I didn't want to have to take the test every single week. Maybe that's, laziness on my behalf, but I just got the stupid thing to provide for my family because it sounded like the old ownership was ready to start firing people.
Well, I got it because my doctor initially recommended it to me, and he says, "Hey, you got this kind of affects like you got high blood pressure and back to the old cholesterol thing." So he's like, "Yeah, you might want to think about getting it." So that's upon the recommendation of my doctor. Yes. Now I'm.
Which one did you get? Was it Pfizer? Was it Moderna?
The one with just the two, the Pfizer, and then one. I can't remember if I followed up with a third or not.
Because I got the one. I got the J&J, the one-shot Johnson & Johnson. I was told they didn't have the mRNA stuff in that one. I wanted the least crap in my body to keep my job.
I'm not saying, I'm not down on anybody that got the vaccine. I'm down on people that mandated the vaccine or else you lose your job. Like, of course, healthcare workers who were around the disease for a year and a half, probably all had it, probably all had natural and herd immunity or whatever you want to call it, and then they were fired because they were treated, 1 year treated like heroes, the next year treated like piranhas, Hammer.
And there are still some businesses that require you show this. So even though they're not passing out any new ones anymore, there still could be a business, if you're a new hire, you have to show this stupid thing. Some universities too. So if that's the case, if you've lost yours or you burned it during a protest, you can still get it online. I think it's still registered online somewhere, but it's just so ridiculous, and I'm glad that process is done. All right, coming up next, Rob Kendall. He is ready to go off the rails. We'll get his thoughts on the Speaker of the House, and we will recap a night with WIBC last night. That's coming up right after a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The investigation took several months. 64 degrees, and today's rain shows no signs of letting up. Low of 55 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:28. Kara Hines has been charged with murder and reckless homicide for a triple shooting in Broad Ripple from last June.
There was a punch thrown, and from that single punch being thrown,
we end up with multiple shots being fired from multiple firearms.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says shell casings at the scene were matched to Hines' gun.
I said it before. This is senseless. 3 lives lost. 1 life still injured.
IMPD Deputy Chief Kendall Adams. Hines is also charged with battery. It's going to start to feel more like fall once the weekend gets here.
When we get to Saturday morning, we're going to have low temperatures on Saturday morning, probably in the middle 40s. And then on Sunday morning, we're looking at low temperatures right around 40 degrees.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service does say that today's rain isn't showing signs of letting up. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has had some expectations for himself if he were to be elected president.
You're going to have an energetic, you're going to have a president that's leading, that's not worried about polls, that's not wedded to the teleprompter, but is going out and getting stuff done. And we're going to do that for 8 consecutive years.
Speaking in Tampa today, a group of 60 bipartisan law enforcement officers in the Sunshine State announced their support for DeSantis today. And one of his Republican opponents, former President Donald Trump, is trying to have one of his court cases dismissed. Fox's Ryan Schmelz reports.
President Trump's legal team says the Washington, D.C.-based case concerning alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election should be thrown out based on presidential immunity. The filing claims the former president is immune from prosecution for actions taken in his official role as president and cites President Trump's efforts to ensure election integrity as part of his official duties. The legal filing argues that, quote, to ensure the president may serve unhesitatingly without fear that his political opponents may one day prosecute him for decisions they dislike, the law provides absolute immunity. The trial is set for March of 2024, not long before Super Tuesday. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Indianapolis Colts running back Jonathan Taylor hasn't been happy with his contract situation. He's also missed the first 4 games of the regular season, but now he says it's not about him.
A lot of people worry about what I want. Doesn't matter what necessarily I want. What matters is what this team needs, what this team wants, what this city wants, and what this city needs.
And he says that's a Super Bowl. Taylor says he's ready to practice. He could play in Sunday's game against Tennessee. With traffic at 5:31, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at a rolled semi on the ramp, north split, northbound 6570 to eastbound 70. The ramp is open, barely. Stop traffic back to the south split. Also backing up eastbound 70 from Belmont to the south split. Southbound 6570, earlier crash in Washington put us into the north split and all the way back to the White River on southbound 65. Looking at southbound 465 on the west side, this is a crash after Sam Jones Expressway. Right lane block, traffic backed up to Washington. Crash, Lawrence, northbound 465 at East 71st. Right lane block, traffic stopped. Back to I-70, westbound 70, Hendricks County stopped. From Ronald Reagan Parkway to State Road 267 because of construction. Traffic sponsored by B-Window. Design it before you buy it with B-Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to be. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Considerable cloudiness is expected as we move into the Thursday evening conditions. Rain also expected from time to time with a low temperature near 63. Winds light and variable, and a few showers still linger on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Strike 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall.
Noise pollution.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show here to go off the rails. Rob, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks as always to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
All right, so we've had a couple of days to let the dust settle. Kevin McCarthy, no longer Speaker of the House. The Gang of Eight, with the help of a bunch of Democrats, ousted him. What's next? What do you think happens now?
Well, isn't it wild that, and this is the most Republican thing ever, so the Republicans agree to rules. Everybody signs off on it when they vote for McCarthy to be Speaker. It's very clear if you don't behave in these parameters, what's going to happen to you or could potentially happen to you.
Yep.
He doesn't behave in the parameters he agreed to. The thing that was supposed to be the deterrent is put forward, and these Republicans are more mad at Matt Gaetz for holding Kevin McCarthy accountable to the agreement he made than they are at Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. I tell you guys this all the time. There is no difference between these two parties on about 98% of the stuff, and they proved it once again.
And then didn't McConnell say yesterday we need to change the rules?
Yes. Well, but this stuff happens all the time. So if you guys remember when Todd Young didn't get those signatures to get on the ballot, because the signature thing is designed to keep, in Indiana, you have to get so many signatures to run for U.S. Senate. Todd Young didn't get the signatures. He had to go in front of Election Commission. Conveniently, in a donor and lobbyist Christmas miracle, he was allowed to stay on the ballot even though he didn't get the signatures. The signatures requirement is designed to keep undesirables off the ballot. Well, one of their guys, because Todd Young was lazy and arrogant in getting those signatures, got caught in it. And when that happened, I thought Bosma and Long were going to tear hamstrings, sprinting to a podium, and they were talking about, well, maybe we need to take a look at this law. Maybe the law's a little outdated. Well, conveniently, Todd gets to stay on the ballot, and, well, the need to update the law goes by the wayside. This is what the Republicans do all the time. They do it nationally, do it locally. The rules are designed to benefit them, and if it works where it doesn't benefit them, then they suddenly cry bloody murder.
Well, the Democrats do it too, right? With the filibuster and in
half the time they create the rules and then they complain about them after they put it in place.
Attacking the Supreme Court, they want to change the rules.
This is what we keep coming back to. The Democrat, and I think they said this last night. The Democrats don't pretend to be different. The Republicans lie to me and tell me they're different. The Republicans lie to me and say, if you elect me, I will do A, B, and C. And then they agree to these things, and somebody goes, yeah, you didn't hold up your end of the bargain on this, so I'm gonna call you out on this. And whether it was professional office hopper Aaron Houchin or Larry Bouchon or Mike Pence, I mean, the vitriol towards Matt Gaetz for simply holding Kevin McCarthy to his word tells you everything you need to know about these people.
And it feels like to me, McCarthy was so arrogant, he didn't think anybody would call him out for violating that contract.
Oh, even that morning he was saying, I'm confident. I'm very confident about this.
He didn't think they had the stones to come after him after he got the speakership. And then Matt Gaetz was like, blank me, blank you.
Yeah, I tweeted out, bring it on, Kevin McCarthy, and then below that I put mission accomplished, George W. Bush. Because you're right, it was complete arrogance because Republicans always get away with lying. Every election cycle, the spending is out of control, inflation is out of control, somebody should do something about it, elect us and we will do something. And then people go, well, hey, we elected you and you didn't do something about it. Oh, silly you, the adults are in charge. We can't do anything about it because chaos would ensue.
So you say the word chaos. Nigel and I talked about this yesterday. That word's been thrown around a lot last couple of days. Republicans are in chaos in the House. Is it really?
No. It's so chaotic they took a week off work.
Exactly. They don't come back until next Tuesday.
And I said this, you guys may know, I have had a rather animated disagreement with someone else who is on the air on this radio station because he said what I felt was a pretty insulting thing about people who have challenged people who supported Kevin McCarthy. And I said to that person last night, I said, if indeed Jim Jordan becomes Speaker of the House, which looks like he's kind of the favorite in the clubhouse right now.
It's down to Jordan and Scalise, it sounds like.
Right. If indeed Jim Jordan becomes Speaker of the House, then can we agree that Matt Gaetz will have been proven correct? Because don't we agree Jim Jordan is probably going to be markedly better than Kevin McCarthy?
You get an upgrade, and it feels like, and Nigel and I talked about this yesterday, tell me if you agree or not, it's going to be a much easier process getting Jim Jordan or even Steve Scalise, if it's him, through the process than it was with Kevin McCarthy in the 15 rounds of voting.
I used to see this all the time in local government. There were all these agencies that were outside of the government that the town would give money to. And one of the ones that stands out to me the most was the Chamber of Commerce. And this chamber in Brownsburg was lazy. It was unaccountable because they were getting money from the government to stay afloat. They didn't have to be reliable to businesses. They didn't have to advocate for businesses. They didn't have to do any of that stuff because they were getting public money. And I said, we're done giving you guys money. Well, if you cut the money from the chamber will simply cease to exist. And I said, wait a second. You guys are the business community arm in this town, and you're telling me you can't exist without government money? I call bullcrap. Oh, no, we're going to have to close our doors. It'll be all over for us. I don't know if you guys check right now. If you Google Brownsburg Chamber of Commerce, there is not only a Chamber of Commerce still in Brownsburg, but it is bigger and has more members than it ever had before. Why? Because somebody called their bluff and said, if you guys get off the government dole and you have to account for yourselves, you will have to either sink or swim on your own. And they started doing the things that people wanted them to do. And so they joined the chamber. It's the same thing here. It's always, the chaos will ensue. The world will end. Oh my gosh. They've already funded the government for 45 days. What does it matter what happens for the next 45 days?
And let's be honest. We live in this political bubble here, right? We follow this closely. Do you think the average person, if you walk down a Monument Circle and you spoke to 20 people, can you name the Speaker of the House? How many could probably name him?
1%?
Maybe.
10% of Americans as a whole couldn't tell you who Kevin McCarthy was.
And would it really be so bad? Like, what would be the worst thing that would happen if we just didn't have a House of Representatives right now? Let's just say they couldn't do any business. What would be the worst thing that would happen? They've already funded the government for 45 days. But even after that, there's a famous episode of The Office where for some reason Michael is not there and Jim is like talking into the camera and he goes, it turns out if you have decent people and you just leave them alone, they generally take pride in their own work and they'll just make sure things work. That's the way America is. Government is such a hindrance to progress. I think the best thing for us would be if the government just shut down. And I'm not talking for a week. I'm not talking for 2 weeks. I'm not talking for a month. Let's try for 6 months without an open federal government, and let's see where we are at in this country.
We are going off the rails with Rob Kendall. I wanted to ask you about this. It just popped into my head because you were talking about Brownsburg. The Brownsburg firefighters mad at you?
Well, that's been for about 11 years now. So
what happened? Were you in a forum where there was a bunch of angry, big, bulky firefighters all staring you down?
Remember this scene in the Blues Brothers where they have the concert and it's all the police that are there and they get on stage and go, "It's so good to see so much of Illinois' law enforcement community in the audience tonight." Oh yeah, I go to these meetings and there's usually like 3 people, me and 2 others there. And conveniently, when it was about budgets and the raises for the firefighters, well, it was just a room full of firemen, and the union boss guy got up and spoke, and he made very clear that, I was essentially fibbing about tax increases that were going to pay for these raises, that they deserve these 8%, by the way. Did you guys get 8% raises this year?
No.
We didn't get anything.
Now, I was told very clearly from the council it wasn't a raise, it was an adjustment to their pay.
Oh,
so
they fixed the glitch.
Yeah, right. So the fact that you, who funds the government, didn't get an 8% raise, they did. They were very angry because...
Do they deserve the raise?
Yeah, I want firefighters to have raises.
But it's not about whether you deserve it or not. It's about whether you in the private sector, because they have access to your money and can take it by force, should they get it just for existing? Again, did you get an 8% raise?
I did not.
Did you get an 8% raise?
That's a negative.
I feel lucky to still have a job. The average person in this country feels lucky to still have a job in the Biden economy. You shouldn't just be giving government workers money because they can take it. It's not whether they did a good job or not. You guys are number 1. Is Brownsburg firefighters number 1? I don't know.
I don't know the rank.
But the point is, they get in this meeting and they go, he's lying about this tax increase or he's misleading, and there'll be this budget presentation and they're going to show you. Budget guy gets up and goes, yeah, there's going to be a tax increase. And it's always Rob Kendall's lying. He's misleading people. He's this, he's that. He's here for clicks. I love that they think my show ratings depend upon talking about what's going on with raises with town of Brownsburg employees.
So it's not about,
disgusting.
It's not that you don't want firefighters to have a raise. It's that they lied to you about how they're going to get there.
Yeah,
right?
the taxes are going up. You are giving government employees raises not equivalent with what the private sector is getting, who are paying for the raises. And it's just lazy governance anyway. The town council, some of the dumbest people alive. I mean, some just real Mensa people out there could totally have given him the raises and not raised taxes. But of course, they want a swimming pool that's going to cost $20 million.
And where is that swimming pool located next to?
It'll be right next to the sewage plant.
Okay. Can you stick around for one more break?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're going off the rails with Rob Kendall. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
We've created something special here in Carmel. I'm Sue Finkham, and it's here where I built my business and started a family and served as a leader on City Council, helping our community prosper and increasing government transparency. Now, we're America's #1 rated city, but we're just getting started. Lots of people talk about keeping Carmel the best city in America. But me, I'm the only one with the plan and experience to do it. I'm Sue Finkham. It's simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. And ensure development doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character.
Sue Finkham, the only candidate with the experience and vision to keep Carmel the best city in America, partnering with police to keep our community safe, and ensuring responsible development to help our community thrive.
Together, let's keep Carmel on the path to success.
On November 7th, vote Sue Finkham for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkham Victory Committee.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort.
And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season.
That's why right now when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free.
That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free.
And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed.
Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
The next generation of streaming is here. Introducing Spectrum One Stream, bringing together internet, advanced Wi-Fi, mobile, and now TV with the all-new Xumo Stream Box. Get fast and reliable internet for $49.99 a month, free advanced Wi-Fi, a free unlimited Spectrum mobile line, and a free Xumo Stream Box when you add Spectrum TV. Spectrum One Stream. It's streaming simplified. Visit Spectrum.com or a Spectrum store for details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Malia. We often get asked when is the best time to buy, and the answer is today, not tomorrow. With rising utility costs, rising product costs, and missed opportunity costs, which you could be saving with a high-efficiency system. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-depth estimate, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Shop the 93rd anniversary sale at Grand Appliance for unbeatable prices on top brands like Whirlpool, Electrolux, LG, Samsung, and more. Visit grandappliance.com for complete details.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer West Side, southbound 465, stop traffic from 46th Street past Crawfordsville Road. And then we have a crash on the west side, southbound 465 after Sam Jones Expressway. The right lane is blocked. Traffic stop to Washington Street. A rolled semi downtown. It's on the ramp from northbound 6570 to eastbound 70. The ramp is open, partially blocked, jamming us up into the south split. And then eastbound 70 is stopped from Tibbs into the south split. Lawrence northbound 465, crash East 71st Street. That is blocking the right lane. Traffic stopped back to I-70 and eastbound 465, jammed up before Keystone to East 56th Street because of construction. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it with B Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to B. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
64 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Back with Rob Kendall, the Kendall and Casey Show. We're going off the rails here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Fun night last night.
Oh, it's great.
A night with WIBC.
Yeah. Thunder Beers. We got to do Thunder Beers before the show.
We got to do that during the show.
Yeah. That would be a great way to go out, wouldn't it?
I'd be in.
I think next year, instead of singing the song, we should just do Thunder Beers as the end tonight with WIBC.
I think we should probably secure rides home before we do that at the end of the night.
But that was sold-out crowd, man. They were rocking. We had a good time last night. And for somebody that's never been to one of these night with WIBCs, how would you describe it?
It's first of all, my favorite part is getting to meet everybody beforehand, and they changed that a couple of years ago, where everybody who gets a ticket is part of the meet and greet.
And they had customized T-shirts on.
I think it's one guy put every nickname we've come up with on our show on the back of his
I met
T-shirt.
that guy. Yeah,
it was
Joe, I think his name.
And it's so flattering. It's such an honor because we always get told by the politicians, "Well, no one's listening to you," and you see the fact that
the ratings dictate otherwise.
Right, but then you see a theater full of people. We could have sold double the amount of tickets we sold. That's just how many the theater would hold, is a couple hundred. That people are willing to give of their time and their money to come be a part of this, because it's like we're all family together
on a weeknight.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
And man,
every
they
year.
were into it. They were booing, they were laughing, they were cheering.
Yeah.
We got them singing "Shout" at the end of the night, man.
And it tells me there are tens of thousands of people in this state who listen to us every single day who agree with the stuff we're talking about. It's sometimes when we say these things, it's like you feel like you're on an island. But then you see that and you go, no, we are the voice of these people when we talk about limited government or accountable government or transparent government or lowering the taxes. Like, it's not. It's the people down the street from us are in the minority. Those state reps and state senators, they are the minority, and the people we saw last night are the majority. They just don't represent them.
And there are so many people that want this radio station to fail. Like last night was a home run of an event. It was sold out. Everybody had drinks. We had a good time. We cheered. We laughed. We booed. We did all the things. And we still get trolls on social media.
Yeah, this morning we were getting trolled. What's that about?
Do you guys have this in your YouTube chat where somebody will spend 3 hours or 4 hours in this case with you guys out of their day just saying mean things about you in the YouTube chat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
And we get more of it on Twitter than YouTube, because you have more folks on the YouTube than we do. We get it on Twitter. But yeah, and it's usually all the same people. Fake profile picture, like fake profile name or 85 numbers in the account.
Yeah.
Somebody that's too chicken blank to use their own identity, talking about how awful we are.
That's how we started out our segment last night, with a tweet that we got that mentioned my wife and her rich elite friends and these fancy vacations that you go on.
Right.
Like this person stalking my wife's Instagram account. It has.
I didn't realize Liston was a fancy vacation.
Yeah, but Great Wolf Lodge, boy, really.
Isn't there something weird though about somebody who every day, in our case, it's 3 hours a day, spends 3 hours out of their day subjecting themselves to something they claim to hate? Isn't that weird?
And they're so passionate, but yet they don't want their real identity to be exposed.
I chuckle all the time on the way home to think that guy or girl, and there's many of them in our YouTube, they wasted 3 hours out of their day. What do they think? I'm going to read the YouTube and go, whatever screen name is angry at me. Boy, I really better think twice about that tomorrow before I have the take that's rooted in 20 years of politics and government. I'm going to just totally change my... That is so weird. And they don't realize they're helping us. That counts for our ratings. The YouTube stuff counts for our ratings and our bonuses. And it's like...
Bonuses.
So
you
weird.
And your drugs, Rob. What's coming up tomorrow?
Boy, what the hell do we have? Oh, we have Charles Bookwalter coming on. He is challenging Jim Baird, who represents the 4th Congressional District. I would vote for an aged potato skin over Jim Baird. So we like to promote people who we think are for good government, and he'll be there to tell us about that.
Special thanks to
Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
He's off the rails. He's Rob Kendall.
Thanks, Rob.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You probably know how much money you've saved in your IRA or 401k, correct?
Oh, I know to the penny, Casey, and I work in radio, so it's not that much.
Okay, well, here's another question. Do you know how much you'll owe in taxes on this money in retirement?
Absolutely not, because I'm an idiot, Casey. That's why I seek the help of trained professionals.
Well, that's the most important number you really need to know, Rob. Otherwise, you're not going to know how much money you really do have.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k. Just go to savetaxeswithbill.com. That's savetaxeswithbill.com. Just input a few numbers and you'll instantly see how much money you could save in taxes when you retire. It's from Bill Dimry, our good friend right here in Indy.
Don't give the government a nickel more in taxes than you have to. Learn how much money you could save in taxes when you retire by going to savetaxeswithbill.com. It's savetaxeswithbill.com.
If there is blame to go around, it will begin and it will end right here.
That's Joe Hahn.